Efendim hoş geldiniz hepiniz. Sayın Büyükelçiler, bakanlıkların değerli temsilcileri, sayın başkanlar, değerli katılımcılar. DEİK Türkiye-Rwanda İş Konseyi Yürütme Kurulu adına hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyor. Ve DEİK ve PSF olarak birlikte düzenlediğimiz Türkiye ve Ruanda arasındaki muhabbeti ve işbirliğini pekiştirici bu özel ve ilk olan toplantıda bulunmaktan büyük onur ve mutluluk duyduğumuzu ifade etmek istiyorum. Süremizi çok verimli kullanmak amacıyla internet üzerinden ulaşılabilecek bir yerden ziyade Ocak 12 2020 tarihinden itibaren DEİK Türkiye-Ruanda İş Konseyi Yönetim Kurulu olarak pandemiye rağmen duraklasak da durmadan gerçekleştirdiğimiz faaliyetlerimizi ve düşüncelerimizi sizlerle paylaşmak istiyorum. Şubat ayında gerçekleştirdiğimiz yönetim kurulu toplantısı ile özellikle Türkiye ile Ruanda arasındaki ilişkilerimizi daha üst seviyelere taşımak için gerekli planlamalarımızı yaptık. Bu planlamalar çerçevesinde Sayın Büyükelçilerimiz ile istişare toplantıları, PSF Sayın Başkanı ve CEO'su ile istişare görüşmesi, Türkiye'de okumakta olan Rwandalı öğrencilerle iletişimimizin güçlendirilmesi, Ruanda'ya ivedi olarak özel sektör ziyareti planlaması, Sayın Bakanımızın muhtemel ziyareti olması durumunda buna yönelik sektörlerin belirlenmesi de planlama ve Ekim ayı 2020 içerisinde İstanbul'da gerçekleşmesi planlanan Türkiye-Afrika Ekonomi İş Forumu için hazırlanma. Bu arada Mart ayında DEİK ve PSF ile birlikte planladığımız Ruanda'dan gelecek özel sektör temsilcileriyle birlikte İstanbul'da yapacağımız Türkiye-Ruanda İş Forumu'nu ve ilgili programı COVID-19 nedeniyle iptal etmek zorunda kaldık. Yukarıda bahsettiğim planlarımızda sadece şeklen değişiklik yaparak yeni normalin en güçlü iletişim aracı olarak nitelediğimiz dijital iletişim araçları ile ilk olarak Türkiye-Ruanda İş Konseyi üyelerimiz, diğer Afrika İş Konseyleri başkanlarının da katılımı ile Büyükelçimiz Burcu Hanım'la bir online toplantı gerçekleştirdik. Bu toplantıda güncel durumlar, ikili ilişkilerimizi değerlendirmenin yanı sıra şu an bulunduğumuz toplantıyı gerçekleştirme yönünde fikir birliği oluşturduk. Bununla birlikte yakın temasımızı hiç yitirmediğimiz değerli Büyükelçi Sayın Williams, ekibi ve yönetim kurulu üyelerimizle yine İş Konseyi Başkanlarının da katılımıyla bir istişare toplantısını yine online gerçekleştirdik. Öne çıkan sektörleri Türk karşılıklarıyla birlikte bir araya getirmeyi hedefledik. Pandemi sürecini, kısıtlamaları ve sınırların kapalı olduğundan hareketle özellikle Türkiye'de okumakta olan Ruandalı öğrencilerle hem tanışma, hem görüşlerini alma hem de pandemi sonrasında staj imkanları konusunda yardımcı olmak amacıyla çeşitli üniversite ve disiplinlerde okuyan 30 Rwandalı öğrencinin katılımı ile RCA Türkiye ile Türkiye-Ruanda İş Konseyi olarak bir online toplantı gerçekleştirdik. Bu pırıl pırıl gençlerin Türkiye ile ilgili görüşlerini almak, bu diyaloğu başlatmak çok verimli ve ikili ilişkilerin hali hazırda ve gelecekte yüceltilmesi açısından da çok motive edici oldu. Bu sırada Sayın Bafakulera ve Sayın Ruzibiza ile yazılı da olsa iletişimimizi başlattık. Ruanda Büyükelçiliği üzerinden gelen Ruandalı şirket taleplerine de azamide cevap vermek üzere girişimde bulunduk. Kısacası pandeminin tüm olumsuz etkilerini olumlu sonuçlara çevirmek için Türkiye ile Ruanda arasındaki ilişkileri güçlendirmek ve azami işbirliğine imkan vermek için var gücümüzle çalışmaya devam ediyoruz. Bundan sonra da edeceğiz. Pandemi süreci tüm dünyanın alışılan stabilitesini sarstı. Ticaret savaşlarının menfi etkisini tartışırken bir anda pandeminin de bu savaşta tüm tarafları etkilediğine şahit oluyoruz. Büyümeler sürekli ekside ve eksi yönde artarak revize ediliyor. Finansman akışlarında, yatırımlarda, yatırım finansmanlarında, ülkelerin finansmanında zorluklar azamiyle yaşanıyor. Bazı sektörler öne çıkıyor, bazı sektörlerin önceliği azalıyor. Sonuçta insanoğlunun temel ihtiyacını oluşturan gıda, sağlık, enerji ve altyapı, tabii lojistik de dahil olmak üzere çok daha önde yer alıyor. Ülkelerin tek başına değil, birbirlerine destek verecek işbirliği edecek, ihtiyaçlarına azami cevap verecek işbirliği imkanlarını artırmaları gerekiyor. Türkiye ve Rwanda arasındaki işbirliğini de çok daha üst seviyelere taşıyacak iletişimi güçlendirmek namına ülke iş çevreleri arasında bir ilk olan bu toplantının öneminin büyük olduğunu düşünüyor ve bu amaca hizmet etmesini de gönülden diliyorum. Şimdi sözü İş Konseyimize eğer hattaysa karşı kanat kuruluşu Rwanda Özel Sektörü Federasyonu Başkanı Sayın Robert Bafakulera'ya vermek istiyorum. Öncesinde bu etkinliğin gerçekleşmesindeki yapıcı işbirliği için de kendilerine sizlerin huzurunda teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Umuyorum ki bu zor zamanlarda işbirliğimiz sürekli hale gelecektir. Sayın Bafakulera, hatta mısınız efendim?
As I had explained, Robert has been called for another meeting. I'm here on his behalf.
Okay. Mr. Stefan'den siz isterseniz devam edin Bay Stefan.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. Our honorable ministers present in this forum, ambassadors, Chairman Buruch, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, first of all, for organizing and attending this webinar of its kind during these hard times of coronavirus-19 crisis. With your permission, I will go direct to the purpose of the meeting. Allow me to first thank DEİK and its senior management and the supporting staff, not only working with us in organizing this event, but also for having helped us to get some of the supplies from Turkey during the coronavirus. Chairman, Mr. Thank you so much. You helped a lot really when we reached you to get some support. Rahan and your staff, you worked a lot, and now the spare parts are in Rwanda. The supplier, the purchasers here in Rwanda are happy. The relationship with Turkey and Rwanda in terms of business has really increased, and we need to keep the pace in terms of encouraging both business operators in both countries, not to lose the momentum in spite of the crisis that we are operating in. If I give you just a snapshot of business image, today Turkey has invested about 400 million in Rwanda, which makes it the 13th% of the country's direct investment in Rwanda. So Turkey is contributing greatly in terms of economic growth. Rwanda is, again, on average, has imported from Turkey around 32.5 USD millions in Rwanda, and export to Turkey has also increased, or it's around 8.5 million US dollars on an annual basis. So this is at least the baseline of what has transpired during the operations of business in Rwanda. And I ask us, everyone here, those who are not attending this forum, to keep the pace. The future is bright. Of course, these are the challenges which human beings have to face. And I encourage businesses in Turkey to come and invest. You have Suma, their chairman is here, is going to give you more testimonies of how businesses are flourishing in Rwanda. Thank you so much.
Evet, teşekkür ediyorum Sayın Ruzi Biza. Şimdi sözü DEİK Başkanımız Sayın Nail Doğupak'a vermek istiyorum. Tabii Nail Bey'in pandemi sürecince günde 5-6 tane online toplantıya katıldığına şahit oluyoruz. Sosyal medyadan da takip ediyoruz. Bu noktada gayretleri ve katılımı için kendilerine ben çok teşekkür ediyorum. Buyurun Sayın Başkan.
Çok teşekkür ederim Erhan Bey. Moderasyonunuz için de ayrıca teşekkür ediyorum. Değerli Büyükelçimiz Sayın Burcu Çevik, değerli dostum Ruanda'nın Ankara Büyükelçisi Sayın William Nkuranza, kendisinden özellikle özür diliyorum. Program başlamadan önce İngilizce konuşmazsam kabul etmeyeceğini söyledi. Çok güzel bir espriyle, ama ben Türkçe devam etmek istiyorum kendisinin de izniyle. Anlaşmalar Genel Müdür Yardımcımız Sayın Fuat Kasımcan ve Rwanda Özel Sektör Federasyonu'nun temsilen Sayın Stefan Ruzipsa ile değerli iş dünyası temsilcilerini ben de şahsım ve DEİK adına saygıyla selamlıyor. Bu günlerin anlamıyla eşdeğer olduğu için de hepimize sağlıklı günler diliyorum. Evet, biz bunu hayatımızın içerisinde bir rutin olarak söylerdik, sağlıklı günler, ama bugün onu sadece rutinden ileri yaşayaraktan ifade ediyoruz. Hayatımızda değişimleri konuşuyoruz, sizler de ifade ettiniz. Ama bir taraftan da salgına rağmen, zorluklara rağmen ekonomimizi de ayakta tutmaya, çalışma hayatımızı da ayakta tutmaya ihtiyacımız olduğunu bilerek ilk günden itibaren bu çerçeve içerisinde salgının ülkelerimize başladığı ilk günden itibaren kastettiğim bu çerçeve içerisinde hareket ediyoruz. Evet, yoğunluk anlamında bakıldığında belki başka zamanlardaki iş yoğunluğundan daha da artan bir yoğunlukla karşı karşıya kaldık ama bunu şikayet olarak görmüyorum. Salgın gibi bir negatifliği pozitife çevirebilmenin, yani insanoğlunun yeni şartlara adapte olmanın bir göstergesi olarak görebiliyorum. Başlangıç günlerinde neler yaptık hepimiz diye konuştuğumuzda 146 İş Konseyi var DEİK'in. Elbette salgının ilk dalgasıyla boğuştuk, problemlerle boğuştuk. Maskelerimizi konuştuk, gümrükteki kalan mallarımızı konuştuk, bankacılık sektörünün vereceği destekleri konuştuk. Yurt dışından bizim büyükelçilerimizin, ateşelerimizin desteklerini istedik. Buradaki, Ankara'daki büyükelçilerimizden, bakanlardan hep bu şekilde ilerledik. Ama bir başka güzelliğin olduğunu görüyorum. Ben en azından Türkiye'nin yaşadığı ve bu süreçte DEİK'in 45 adet Afrika'da olmak üzere bütün dünyadaki 146 İş Konseyi'nin karşı kanat kuruluşlarıyla birlikte yaşadıklarından özet olarak ifade ettiğimde biz en azından Mayıs ayı itibariyle artık pandemiyi özel problem olarak konuşmamaya başladık. Webinarlarımızda ve video konferanslarımız içerisinde. Yani oradan kaynaklı problemleri değil, olması gerektiği gibi hem günlük işlerimizi hem de geleceğe yönelik işlerimizi konuştuk. Bunun çok önemli bir gösterge olduğunu düşünüyorum. Yani sadece pandemiyle mücadele çerçevesinde olmadı. Ve bir ileri aşamaya geçtiğimizde de Interconnected Business online toplantı serimiz içerisinde de başlangıçta evet bir açılış konuşmalarıyla girdiğimiz ama sonrasında sektörlerimizin kendi içerisinde karşılıklı görüşmelerini de yapabildiği, yani bir iş forumunun içerisinde olması gerekenleri yaşayabildiğimiz bir süreci görüyoruz. Tabii ki hayatımızda değişiklikler olacak mı? Olacak. Bizim her şeyin eskisi gibi olmadığını, hani yine piyasa tabiriyle söyleyeyim, piyasa satın aldı derler. Yani bir ekonomik hareketlilik olduğu zaman ona biz önceden satın alma olarak ifade ederiz. Biz bu etkiyi hepimiz gördük ve satın aldık. Bir miktarda hayatımızı buna göre değiştirdik. Artık el sıkışarak anlaşmak yerine burada olduğu gibi el sallayarak karşılıklı olarak anlaşma yoluna gitmeye başladık. Birkaç hususu da önemli olduğunu düşündüğüm için ifade etmek istiyorum. Katıldığım programlarda özellikle söylüyorum. Globalleşme bizim hayatımızın çok önemli bir parçası. Elbette globalleşme hayatımızdan çıkmayacak ama glokalleşme, yerelleşmenin salgınla birlikte hayatımızda daha fazla yer tutacağını gördük. Evet, savaşların şekil değiştirdiği dünyamızda, en son ticaret savaşlarının hayatımıza girdiği dünyamızda yerelleşme geliyordu ama salgın bunu belki birkaç faz daha ileriye doğru götürdü diye düşünüyorum. Lojistiğin kavram anlamında önemini biliyoruz ama kavramlarının değiştiğini düşünüyorum. Yani yakınlık ve uzaklık kavramları değişti. Evet, bir şeyi daha yakından tedarik edebilmenin önemine girdik ama bazen de bu yakının ne olduğunu iyi tanımlamamız lazım. Acaba yakın sizin komşunuz demek mi? Yoksa onu elde edebilir olmak mı? Elde edebilirlik kavramının yakınlık ve uzaklık kavramının önüne geçtiği bir süreci gördük. Rekabetteki tanımlamaların değişmeye başladığını düşünüyorum. Çünkü biz konuşurken rekabet unsurunda ölçek ekonomilerini çok konuşurduk. Derdik ki siz kaç adet o hizmetten veya kaç milyon adet o üründen üretiyorsanız ölçeğinizi büyüttüğünüz ölçüde rekabetçiliğiniz daha artar diye bu kavramları hep konuştuk hayatımızda ve bir realitesi vardı. Ama salgın bize bir başka gerçeği gösterdi. Eğer siz sınırlı sayıda kaynağa bağlı kalıyorsanız, hatta tek kaynak dersek bu iyice vahim noktalara geliyor. Bunun da hayatımızda başka sıkıntıları olacak. O zaman bunu şu açıdan ifade ediyorum değerli dinleyicilerimize de, izleyicilerimize de. Bazı şeyler birileri açısından risk oluştururken bazıları da birileri açısından aynı konu bir açılım da oluşturabilir. Yakınlık ve uzaklık kavramların böylesine değiştiği bir dünyanın içerisinde o zaman ve tek kaynağa bağlı kalmanın risklerini çok konuştuğumuz bir dünyada tedarik zincirini bozmamanın önemini gördük. muhataplarımıza güven unsurunu, güven duygusunu vermenin ne kadar önemli olduğunu gördük. Zannederim bu çerçevenin önemli olduğu kanaatindeyim. Afrika ile ilişkilerimize gelince, bütün Afrika'daki bizim değerli dostlarımız da bilir. Türkiye elbette orada yatırımlarıyla, müteahhitlik projeleriyle, ticaretiyle bulunuyor. Bir ekonomik aktivite için bulunuyor. Ama biz faaliyetlerimizde kazan kazan ilkesini çok ciddi bir şekilde ön planda tutuyoruz. Ve bunu Afrika'daki dostlarımızdan da duruyoruz. Ve bu noktada Ruanda'yı konuştuğumuzda ben program çerçevesinde öğrenebilmiştim. Ruanda bin tepe ülkesi anlamına geliyormuş. Güzel bir ifade. Ve diğer taraftan da güvenli ülkelerinden birisi. Elbette ekonomik ve ticari ilişkilerimizi şu anki bulunduğu noktadan ileri taşımak için beraberiz. Yani geçen yılki ticaret hacmimiz henüz 50 milyon dolara bile gelememiş. Öylesi bir rakamın bu dostluğun içerisinde yetersiz kaldığını düşünüyoruz. Evet, detaylı şekilde konuları değineceğiz. Bir iki hususu ifade etmek istiyorum. Ruanda 12 milyon nüfusuyla Afrika'da adeta parlayan yıldızlardan birisi. Böyle bir yıldızın Amerika Birleşik Devletleri ve Avrupa Birliği ile de ticaret anlaşmaları var. Bunun fırsatlara iki taraf açısından da çevrilebileceğini düşünüyorum. Yatırımcılarımızın Ruanda'da yapmış olduğu, aramızda değerli dostlarımız var şu anda da programımızda. Stadyum, konferans merkezi gibi önemli altyapı yatırımları bizim açımızdan çok referanslarımız olarak duruyor. Bu referansların bundan sonraki süreçlerde de elbette Selim Bey'in projeleri olur ama diğer projelerle birlikte de devam edeceğini düşünüyorum. Müteahhitliğin yanında gıda, enerji ve güvenlik alanlarını herhalde bir miktar daha fazla ön planda tutabilirsek doğru olacağı kanaati içerisindeyim. Ruanda İş Konseyimiz, Türkiye-Ruanda İş Konseyimiz bizim nispeten yeni sayılabilecek, 8 yıl önce kurduğumuz bir iş konseyimiz. Erhan Bey'e teşekkür ediyoruz İş Konseyi Başkanımız olarak. Karşı kanat kuruluşumuz Ruanda Özel Sektör Federasyonu ile işbirliği içerisinde. Biz bu çerçeve içerisinde DEİK olarak iş konseylerimize olabilecek her türlü desteği, yani DEİK olarak derken yönetimiyle, çalışanlarıyla birlikte desteği vermek üzere bu noktadayız. Gönül ister ki bir miktar daha karşılıklı toplantıları da yapabilelim. Ama en azından 8-9 Ekim tarihinde de yine Türkiye-Afrika Ekonomi ve İş Forumu'nda şu anki gidişata göre sanal ortamda bir arada olacağımız görünüyor. Ben orada da görüşmek üzere bir Ruanda ifadesiyle sözlerimi tamamlamak istiyorum. Gerçek dostluk kan ile değil, paylaşarak elde edilir demiş Ruandalı dostlarımız. Çok güzel bir ifade. Ben paylaşarak dostluklarımızı daha fazla ilerleteceğimize inanıyor. Ve değerli dostum Sayın Büyükelçi Williams'ın söylemiş olduğu bir ifade var. Ona bir sözümüz var Ruanda'ya fiziki ziyaret yapmak konusunda. Ne zaman ayarlayabiliyorsak, öncelikle bizler iş dünyası, elbette sonrasında da olabiliyorsa bakanlarımız, Cumhurbaşkanımız seviyesinde de bir ziyarete hazır olduğumuzu hepinizin huzurunda ifade etmek istiyor. Herkese saygılar sunuyorum.
Sayın Başkan, çok teşekkür ederim. Yani sözleriniz için. DEİK olarak hep birlikte gönüllü olarak bu faaliyetlerimizi sürdürüyoruz. İnşallah Ruanda'da başta olmak üzere diğer ülkelerle, özellikle Afrika ülkeleriyle olan ilişkilerimizi çok daha üst seviyelere, sizin dediğiniz gibi taşıma imkanına sahip oluruz. Bunun için gece gündüz aslında çalışıyoruz. Yine çok teşekkür ediyorum. Müteşekkirim konuşmanıza. Şimdi efendim açılış konuşmalarını yapmak üzere Sayın Burcu Çevik'e Büyükelçimiz Burcu Çevik'e söz vereceğim. Bu etkinliğin gerçekleşmesinde Sayın Büyükelçimizin de gayretleri çok fazla. Bu vesileyle kendilerine de çok teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Sayın Büyükelçim, buyurun efendim.
Değerli Erhan Bey, çok teşekkür ederim. Hem bu fırsatı bana sağladığınız için, katkıda bulunma imkanını yaşattığınız için, hem DEİK hem de PSF'e bu güzel girişimi başlattıkları için öncelikle teşekkürlerimi sunuyorum. Hatta olan herkesi saygıyla selamlıyorum, günaydınlar diliyorum, sağlıklar diliyorum. Biz 2020 için aslında çok güzel planlar düşünmüştük. Hem ekonomik hem ticari hem yatırımlar alanında hem siyasi alanda hem eğitim alanında Türkiye-Ruanda ilişkilerinin daha ileriye götürülebilmesi için önemli planlarımız vardı. Ancak bu planlar COVID-19 salgının nedeniyle şimdilik biraz sekteye uğradı. Beklemeye alındı demek istiyorum. Umarım kısa zamanda COVID-19 salgınıyla ilgili de daha iyi haberler alırız ve yeniden planladığımız şekilde işbirliği projelerimize devam ederiz. Bu süre içinde DEİK'le Ruanda ile olan ikili ticari ekonomik ilişkilerimizin canlandırılması için neler yapabiliriz diye zihin egzersizi yaptık. Ondan sonra bu webinar düşüncesi ortaya çıktı. Şu anda bunun gerçekleşiyor olmasından da şahsen çok büyük bir memnuniyet duyduğumu ifade etmek istiyorum. Ruanda ve Türkiye aslında birbirini yeni keşfetmeye başlayan iki ülke. Çok güzel bir işbirliği sürecine girdi her iki ülkede. Ama daha yapılacak çok şey var önümüzde. Daha büyük potansiyelimiz var. Bunu hayata geçirmek için her iki tarafında birbirini daha yakından tanımaya, daha sık görüşmeye, ilişkileri daha yakın tutmaya ihtiyacı var. Bu webinarlar elbette teknolojinin sağladığı imkanlarla ilişkileri daha iyiye götürmek için bir araç temin ediyor bize. Ama tabii yüz yüze görüşmenin, bir el sıkışmanın getirdiği sıcaklığı henüz sağlayamıyor. Ben hem Türk iş adamlarına hem de Ruandalı iş insanlarına birer mesaj vermek istiyorum açıkçası bu vesileyle. İlk mesajım tabii ki Türk iş insanları için. Diyorum ki Ruanda'yı yeniden keşfedin. Ruanda'ya daha yakından bakın. Çünkü yakından baktığınız zaman Türkiye'de zihinlerdeki Ruanda algısıyla gerçek Ruanda arasında çok büyük bir fark olduğunu göreceksiniz. Ruanda 25-26 yıllık tecrübesinin sonunda 1994'teki soykırım acı tecrübesinden sonra çok büyük bir dönüşüm, çok büyük bir gelişim geçirdi. Şu anda belki Afrika'da hem yolsuzlukla mücadele, rüşvetle mücadele açısından, kurumsallaşma açısından, kolay iş yapabilme açısından Afrika'nın önde gelen ülkeleri arasında yer alıyor. Güvenli iş yapma, güvenli ortaklıklar tesis etme konusunda önemli fırsatlar sunuyor. Sadece bölgesinde değil, Afrika'nın genelinde de değerlendirilmesi gereken stratejik bir ortak olarak düşünüyorum ben açıkçası Ruanda'yı. Türk iş adamlarının daha yakından bakıp işbirliği olanaklarını daha yakından değerlendirmelerini tavsiye ediyorum. Bunun için de Büyükelçiliğimiz gereken tüm desteği vermeye hazır elbette. Hali hazırda bir ticaret müşavirimiz yok ama hem şahsım hem tüm çalışma arkadaşlarım gereken tüm desteği sağlamaya hazırız. Ruandalı iş insanları açısından vermek istediğim mesajsa şu. Aynı şekilde Ruanda iş insanlarının da Türkiye'ye yakından bakmasını arzu ediyorum. Türkiye, Ruanda'ya sunabileceği çok geniş imkanlara sahip bir ülke. Hem ticaret hem yatırımlar açısından önemli bir ortak, güvenilir bir ortak. Türkiye her zaman Afrika'ya eşit ortaklık temelinde yaklaşan bir ülke. Karşılıklı yarar, karşılıklı saygı çerçevesinde, eşitlik çerçevesinde ilişki tesis eden bir ülke. Ve hem standartlar açısından, ürettiği ürünler açısından önde gelen ülkelerden, hem fiyat kalite dengesi diye baktığınızda gerçekten avantajlı imkanlar sunabilen bir ülke. Dolayısıyla Ruandalı iş insanları açısından da Türkiye'nin tekrar daha yakından değerlendirilmesi, keşfedilmesi gerektiğini düşünüyorum. Halihazırda Türk Hava Yolları uçuşlarına henüz başlamadı. Ama çok yakında tekrar başlayacak. Türk Hava Yolları'nın biliyorsunuz uçuşları İstanbul, Kigali, Entebbe ayağıyla yapılıyor. Uganda'da uçuşlara başlar başlamaz Türk Hava Yolları yeniden Kigali'ye olan doğrudan uçuşlarına dönecek. Bunun da bana çok sorular geliyor. Burada paylaşmış olayım. Yoksa Türk Hava Yolları hazır her an başlamaya. Umut ediyorum ki bu webinar sayesinde her iki taraf da birbirini tanıma için, biraz daha yakın tanımak için ilk adımı atmış olacak. Ve bu adımların daha ileriye götürülmesinde hem büyükelçilik olarak hem şahsım olarak gereken tüm desteği vermeye hazırız. Herkese çok çok teşekkür ediyorum katılımları için. Başarılı sonuçlar diliyorum. Çok teşekkürler.
Burcu Hanım çok çok teşekkür ederiz. Sağ olun. Sizin katkılarınız da bunu gerçekleştiriyoruz. Hatırlarsanız ilk toplantımızda böyle bir şey düzenleyelim demiştik. Bunu gerçekleştirdik. Bu konudaki tekrar teşekkür ediyorum sizlere. Rwanda Cumhuriyeti Ankara Büyükelçisi çok değerli dostumuz Sayın Williams Nkurunziza'ya sözü vermek istiyorum. Buyurun Sayın Büyükelçi.
Yeah, thank you, Ram. Thank you so much, everyone. I wish to recognize my friends in Turkey, as well as my brothers and friends in Kigali. This is a meeting of friends. And like all of you have said, I think we can harness this friendship to do much better business than we are currently doing. This meeting to me is a testament of both the enthusiasm and the potential for greater commercial engagement between our two countries in both trade and investment. Rwanda seeks to build her industry. Turkey has great potential, technical capacity, and investment capacity within the industrial space. And we would like to see Turkish industrial companies, industrialists becoming pioneers in Rwanda's nascent industrialization journey. Because Africa is seriously committed to consuming what it produces, to reduce its overdependence on imports. And within its vision, 2063, and the spirit of CFTA, there is a focus on building Africa's industrial capacity. Rwanda is a champion of this particular objective. And we would like to see greater collaboration between our Turkish friends and the private sector in Rwanda to build industry so that we can service or create an alternative to our dependence on imports. Rwanda is also a very unique tourist destination. We have exotic tourist assets that Turkish tourists have not had the pleasure of experiencing. We have very few tourists going to Turkey, rather going from Turkey going to Rwanda. Out of the 8.5, nearly 9 million Turkish who travel every year as tourists. And would like to see a conversation between ourselves and our colleagues at TUSAB to ensure that we can see more tourist flow from Turkey to Rwanda. The CEO of RDB, the Honorable Claire Kamanzi, has visited TUSAB. So has our Director for Investment, and try to encourage greater collaboration between the tourism industry in Turkey and Rwanda. And we would like to see a continuing conversation that would help us realize this particular objective of having our Turkish brothers and sisters experiencing the beauty that Rwanda has to offer, the exotic wildlife and wildlife and all the other beauty that the country has to offer, so that the tourists from Turkey can also enjoy that particular offering. Now, we have talked about trade and investments, 379 million from Turkey, but we have also had Turkish companies execute infrastructure projects out of Rwanda, perhaps in excess of that volume of funds. But we haven't seen greater activity within the manufacturing space. I would like to see a conversation that leads us to that. And I'm hoping that after the conversation today, we will perhaps see greater enthusiasm from Turkey to look at possibilities within the manufacturing sector in Rwanda. There is also great potential, particularly in the area of mineral beneficiation in the country. And I'm sure my brother Francis Gatari will be sharing this, but in Turkey, there is a huge capacity that you have in mineral beneficiation, including in jewelry production, that we would like you to leverage in moving into Rwanda, adding value to our mineral resources and building a strong mineral beneficiation space, rather mineral beneficiation capacity of our country. Now, over the years, we have had our president visit Turkey and talk to your private sector. We have had our prime minister visit Turkey and talk to your private sector. We have had our minister of trade and industry who came here in 2016 and also talked to your private sector. Their message to the Turkish private sector has always been the same. Rwanda is ready for business. Its economy is completely open. Every sector is available and every sector holds opportunity. And the country is peaceful, the country is secure, the country is ready for business. I know Niall was saying that he made a promise. He made a promise, and we are going to continue reminding you of your promise, my brother. And we hope that perhaps by the time COVID ends, you will have made a decision to move. Now, our governments haven't just been telling you as the private sector to come and do business either in Rwanda or in Turkey. Our two governments have also worked collaboratively over the last 6 or so years to put in place an enabling environment for businesses between Rwanda and Turkey. During this time, we have signed a memorandum of cooperation within the economic space. We have signed a reciprocal promotion and protection of investment agreement. We have signed a double taxation agreement, an MOU in the area of tourism to ensure that there is a legal framework that would guide Turkish investments moving into Rwanda or Rwandan business people coming to Turkey. The environment is right, the market is right, and I think there are enormous opportunities that particularly business people from Turkey can exploit in Rwanda. And of course, we also have goods to sell. I don't think selling exports of 8 million is enough. I think we need to do a lot more. And I'm hoping that this particular conversation is going to make this possible. I thank you so much for allowing me to say these few words. And I look forward to an engaging conversation over the next 2 hours. Thank you so much. It's back to you, moderator.
Evet, Sayın Williams, çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Bizim de hep sizin de söylediğiniz gibi amacımız iki ülke arasındaki ticaret hacmini mümkün olduğunca en üst seviyeye çıkartmak. Bu açıdan da gerekli olan her türlü imkanı ve her türlü çalışmayı yapma konusunda da irademiz tam. Efendim çok teşekkür ediyorum tekrar Sayın Williams'a. Değerli katılımcılar, değerli misafirler, bu bölümde kamunun özel sektöre desteğini dinleyeceğiz. Her iki ülkenin bakanlık temsilcileri bizlerle bulunuyor. İlk sözü Sayın Fuat Kasımcan, Ticaret Bakanlığı Uluslararası Anlaşma Avrupa Birliği Genel Müdür Yardımcısı. Sayın Kasımcan'a sözü vermek istiyorum. Buyurun efendim.
Evet, teşekkür ediyorum Erhan Bey, Sayın Başkan. Ben Sayın Büyükelçi Williams'ın talebini de dikkate alarak konuşmamı İngilizce yapmak istiyorum. Dear Ambassadors, Sayın Başkan Nail Olpak, Dear Chairman of Turkey-Rwanda Business Council, dear participants, first of all, I am very pleased to be with you on the occasion of this event, and I wish you all health in this period, during which face-to-face meetings are very limited due to health conditions. It is important to organize such meetings in a virtual environment, and I believe that this meeting will contribute to our bilateral relations. In last July, our ministers had a meeting and had the opportunity to discuss trade and investment issues in more depth. The frequency of our contacts is therefore a proof of the willingness of both sides to develop our relations. As you know, the world is going through an unprecedented process due to the pandemic, and this surely has a serious impact on business and trade operations. The recent estimations concerning the global trade indicate a fall of 13% to 32% in 2020 in volumes, and the IMF predicts that the global economy will shrink around 4.9% in 2020. We can overcome this crisis through cooperation and solidarity. We believe that within the current international environment, maintaining close contacts between our public and private sectors is essential for our cooperation. And also we believe that COVID-19 should not be excuse to restrict trade. Our first reaction to COVID-19 and all the measures we took reflect this approach. Right from the start of the pandemic, we acted on all fronts affecting the trade and business in Turkey. The measures that we have taken include the contactless trade, foreign trade operations, customs, transport, and logistics. We are still working on all these areas to identify further actions we can take with a view to facilitate cross-border flows of trade. Additional resources and flexibilities have been introduced in financing. Marketing of goods domestically and consumer protection were also areas where we took action. Dear participants, we are following Rwanda's impressive progress in the social and economic fields under the able leadership of the President Kagame with the great interest. Today, Rwanda is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. We note with great interest that Rwanda has the lowest rate of corruption and the second easiest place to do business in Africa. We are also aware of Rwanda's goal of becoming an upper middle income country by 2035 and high income by 2050. The long-term development ambitions of Rwanda touch on very critical sectors. We consider Rwanda as an important partner in East Africa. Reciprocal opening of the embassies shows the commitment of the both sides to further develop bilateral relations. The contacts between our countries have been gradually increasing and getting more and more intensified. The start of Turkish Airlines direct flights to Kigali in 2012 was an important cornerstone. The trade volume between Turkey and Rwanda, which was around 800,000 in 2023 and rose to 33 million in 2019. In 2020, we observe an increase in imports from Rwanda due to gold purchase. We hope that the increased trade volumes will not be temporary and will progressively trigger similar development in other sectors. The studies we have been conducting are showing that there are products with increased trade potential between our countries. Articles of iron or steel, soap, organic surface active agents, washing preparations, vehicles with diesel, semi-diesel engines, road tractors for semi-trailers are the products that we have an important trade potential between our countries. We sincerely believe that if we work together on our potential products, we can improve trade significantly. Establishing a legal framework is also very important to improve trade economic relations. In this context, the signature of commercial and economic cooperation agreement, the promotion of protection and bilateral investments agreement, and prevention of the double taxation agreement are very important steps. We need to complete the ratification process of these agreements as soon as possible. In addition, we firmly believe that an economic partnership agreement establishing a free trade area would increase trade and investments between our countries. We want to initiate the negotiation with East African Community. Alternatively, we can come up with a bilateral agreement that would respect Rwanda's commitments under the EEC agreement. These two options are worth considering in our opinion. And as you know, the contracting and construction sector of Turkey is very competitive. Turkish contracting companies, which undertook more than 10,000 projects amounting around more than 400 billion US dollars. And we have 3 contracting projects undertaken so far by Turkish companies in Rwanda and amount to over 300 million US dollars. Today, the opportunities offered by Rwanda and the worldwide success of Turkish companies show us that there is an important opportunity in many areas. Our companies are ready to share their experience with their Rwandan counterparts and undertake new projects in Rwanda. Today, the sum of Turkish investments in Rwanda is around 400 million US dollars. Our investments are concentrated in energy, education, hotel management, agriculture, industry, and construction sectors. We will continue encouraging Turkish business persons to invest in Rwanda. Our contractors, each of have become a global brand, are ready to cooperate with Rwanda in high-profile projects such as the construction of new hotels, logistics, infrastructures, and airports. A key construction project by Turkish companies in Rwanda has been the Kigali Convention Center. The energy sector is an area where we can collaborate. Rwandan government's goal of delivering electricity to the entire population by 2024 reveals the potential in the country for our companies that build energy distribution lines and produce off-grid systems. Our companies are also willing to support Rwanda's effort to develop energy sectors. Rwanda also offers great opportunities in mining sector. I am happy to note that there will be a presentation on mining potential of Rwanda. Hereby, we would like to call our companies to take advantage of this opportunity offered by the country on the basis of mutual benefits. As you all are well aware, we have organized 2 very successful economy and business forums in collaboration with African Union and Foreign Economic Relations Board, DEİK, before. As Mr. Nail Olpak mentioned, we were planning to organize 3rd one on 8 to 9 October 2020 in Istanbul. but we had to postpone it due to the COVID-19 outbreak. If conditions allow, we hope to organize this event in April 2021. But before this major event, we want to hold online ministerial roundtable meeting as well as side events with the participation of the trade and economic ministers and business representatives of African countries on 8-9 October 2020. We will be very pleased to see Rwanda attending this major event. Before ending my words, I want to emphasize one last point. Undoubtedly, the sine qua non of the development of our bilateral relations are the contacts between our private sectors. This event, which brings our business people, is very important. I hope that you can review serious cooperation opportunities and get productive results of your contacts today. We wish you all success, and thank you very much for all everybody. Thank you.
Fuat Bey, çok teşekkür ederim. Gerçekten önemli bilgiler verdiniz. Değindiğiniz yani Sayın Başkanımız Nail Bey'in de değindiği gibi yerelleşme, globalleşme, paylaşım, yani tek başına bir ülkenin altından tek başına kalkacağı bir süreç değil. Bu pandemi ve sonrasındaki süreç, bu daralmalarla birlikte Rwanda ile aramızdaki olan ilişkileri pekiştirmek ve daha güçlendirmek zorundayız. Sizin de temas ettiğiniz gibi. Efendim şimdi yine kamu alanından bu sefer Rwanda tarafından Rwanda Ticaret ve Sanayi Bakanlığı Ticaret ve Yatırımlar Genel Müdürü Sayın Antoine olarak okuyorum. Kayangwe'ye sözü vermek istiyorum. Buyurun Sayın Kayangwe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to all of you. Thank you to the PSF and the Rwanda Turkey Chamber for organizing this webinar and for inviting and extending this invitation to the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Honorable Ministers, CEOs of RDB and Rwanda Mining Board, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, Deputy Director General, Chairman of the Private Sector Federation and the Turkey-Rwanda Business Chamber, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As the Chairman has stated, my name is Antoine Kajangwe. I am the Director General for Trade and Investment at the Ministry of Trade and Industry in Rwanda. Today, I'm standing in for the Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry of Rwanda, Honorable Soraya Hakuziyaremye, who unfortunately had other engagements and could not be with us today. She sends her greetings, however, and has expressed her steadfast support for this Turkey-Rwanda Interconnected Business Forum. Indeed, the Ministry of Trade and Industry of Rwanda is encouraged by the strengthening engagements between our private sectors and the trade and investment cooperation that has flourished over the last several years. Honorable CEOs, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Honorable Minister, allow me to share a few remarks on the growing cooperation between our two countries. As has already been stated, the trade performance between our two countries has increased markedly over the last 5 years, reaching over $65 million in 2019. Today, Turkey is among the top 20 trading partners of Rwanda, whose quality industrial and construction products have been well received in Rwanda and across the region. Equally, Rwanda's coffee and horticulture produce has begun to receive a welcome market in Turkey, promising to further strengthen trade relations. Investments have also increased over the last 5 years, totaling over $400 million in sectors ranging from construction to manufacturing. Indeed, the CEO of Suma, who's with us here today, can attest to the investment opportunities abundant here in Rwanda. Our cooperation investment is also underpinned by great bilateral economic cooperations between our two countries, with a number of agreements in place to facilitate this exchange of business. As has already been mentioned, there is a double taxation agreement in place, a reciprocal investment and facilitation and promotion agreement that will soon also go into force, further promoting, facilitating, and protecting investments in Rwanda and Turkey, and a treaty that is sure to further strengthen bilateral investments. We also take note, following the remarks of the Deputy Director General, of the interest to deepen trade relations further through trade agreement with Rwanda or the East African community. And I look forward to engaging further on this with you and the ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, despite the challenges presented by the coronavirus pandemic on the global trading and investment regimes, we're confident that the future holds more promise. Indeed, Rwanda remains one of the best places to do business, with a number of incentives and opportunities available for investors in a number of priority sectors, particularly in agro-processing, manufacturing, construction, and tourism. But ultimately, Rwanda sits at the center of Africa, with a great land and air transport links, logistical infrastructure, and seamless customs procedures with all the regions of the continent, and participates in a number of free trade areas and customs union. What this means is that the expanded market of Rwanda exceeds 170 million people within East Africa alone, and covers a potential market of 500 million people within the common market for East and Southern Africa, or COMESA. Soon, as our ambassador to Turkey has mentioned, with the start of trading of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the market will reach all across Africa to the south, the west, and central regions, and cover 1.2 billion people. This market will be an immense opportunity for business and investments across manufacturing, construction, and the services sectors. Excuse me. At this point, Africa is at the point of economic takeoff, and there is no better place to invest and do business in Africa than Rwanda, with a respect for the rule of law and clear and visionary leadership. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to continue to build trade and investment cooperation between our two countries. And this webinar here today between our private sectors to develop ties and connections and linkages is destined to ensure the practical results that will ensure short and long-term gains. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to you all for your attention.
Sayın Kajang Bey, çok teşekkür ederim. Özellikle görüşleriniz için. Bu arada hemen bir şey aklıma geldi. Kahve dediniz. Şu anda tüm Türkiye'deki Starbucks chainlerinde, zincirlerinde Rwanda adlı bir kahve satışa sunuldu yaklaşık 3 aydır. Bütün raflarda Rwanda adıyla o kahve duruyor. Onu da burada belirtmek istedim. Çok teşekkür ediyorum tekrar. Şimdi bu bölümde değerli katılımcılar, bu bölümde çok değerli konuşmacılarımız sunumları olacak. İlk olarak Rwanda'da, Afrika kıtasında önemli projeler gerçekleştirmiş. Gerçekten büyük başarı hikayelerine imza atmış olan Summa Yönetim Kurulu Başkanı, çok sevgili dostum Sayın Selim Bora'yı dinleyeceğiz. Summa, Kigali'de kongre merkezi, otel ve spor tesisi inşa etti. Bu bağlamda Rwanda'da böylesine önemli projeler gerçekleştirmiş bir iş insanı olarak kendisinin tecrübelerini ve görüşlerini dinleyeceğiz. Buyurun Sayın Bora.
Evet, sevgili Erhan, teşekkür ediyorum. Değerli başkanım, sayın büyükelçiler, değerli katılımcılar, hepinizi saygıyla selamlıyorum. Ruanda ile alakalı söyleyecek o kadar çok şey var ki, yani bu kısa süreye nasıl sığdıracağım bilemiyorum. Öncelikle ben Ruanda insan kaynağından bahsetmek istiyorum. Gerçekten Afrika kıtasında pek çok ülkede iş yapma fırsatımız ve ziyaret etme fırsatımız oldu. Ama Ruanda'nın halkı gibi özel bir halka gerçekten hiçbir yerde rastlamadım. Başlarından geçen feci 1994 olaylarının sonrasında bir halkın nasıl tekrar ayağa kalkmayı başarıp ülkesini nasıl böyle bir noktaya getirebildiğini mutlaka herkesin takip etmesi, görmesi ve takdir etmesi gerektiğini düşünüyorum. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı Kagame liderliğinde bugün Ruanda hakikaten bölgesinin değil, kıtanın en önemli ülkelerinden biri. İş yapma kolaylığı açısından son derece güzel bir yer. Dolayısıyla ben Türk girişimcilerini şiddetle bu konuda Ruanda'ya fokus olmalarını ve orada iş yapma imkanlarını incelemelerini tavsiye ederim. Hem iş yapma kolaylığı hem de disiplin noktasında hakikaten büyük bir altyapı kurulmuş vaziyette. Bunun üzerine bizim sanayicilerimiz, iş adamlarımız çok hızlı bir şekilde ilerletebilirler diye düşünüyorum. Kendileri tabii ifade ettiler. Hem Antoine Kajangwe hem Sayın Büyükelçi Williams, "Country is ready for business" dedi. Gerçekten bu doğru. Her alanda imkan var ve özellikle Türkiye ile belki biraz da bizim sayemizde diyebilirim, ciddi bir iş ilişkisi yaşadık geçtiğimiz senelerde ve Türkiye'den giden mal ve hizmetlerin ne kadar kaliteli olduğunu takdir ettiler. Biz de oradaki insan kaynağının ne kadar becerikli ve çalışkan olduğunu izleme fırsatı bulduk. Dolayısıyla bu ikisini birleştirince hakikaten çok güzel işler çıkartılabiliyor. Şu anda bilmiyorum ekranda görebiliyor musunuz ama arkamdaki imaj işte bizim orada son yaptığımız 6 ay içinde anahtar teslimi bir şekilde hem projesini hem inşaatını yapıp bitirdiğimiz Kigali Arena projesi. 10.000 kişilik kapalı spor salonu, çok amaçlı kapalı spor salonu. Bunu biz 2500 kişi ve işte 600 konteyner sevkiyatı gibi büyük bir operasyonla orada inşa ettik. İş gücü noktasında Ruandalı işçiler ve çalışanlarla beraber son derece koordinasyonlu bir şekilde bu projeyi hayata geçirdik. Benim burada altını çizmek istediğim, ilk başta da söylediğim gibi insan kaynağı ve kalitesi. Bunlar olduğu zaman zaten gerisini toparlamak çok kolay oluyor. Şimdi tabii bir ülkede 6 ayda kimseye böyle bir arena yaptırtmazlar. Yani yapmak isteseniz bile yaptırtmazlar. Bunu başarmış olmamız ülkenin kurumlarının da doğru iş yapan firmalara olan güvenini ve o güveni tesis ettikten sonra açtıkları kapıları gösteren de bir esasında önemli örnek bir durum. Yani bir kere kazandığınız vakit idarelerin güvenini, ondan sonra zaten size farklı şekilde daha başka işlerle, daha başka imkanlarla bu güveni tekrar başka projelerde yaşatmak istiyorlar. O bakımdan ben çok teşekkür ediyorum buradan Sayın Büyükelçi Williams'a, Büyükelçimiz Burcu Hanım'a ve Ruanda otoritelerinin başındaki başkanlara. Bizim tecrübemiz şirket olarak son derece olumlu ve biz Ruanda'da yatırıma da başlamayı düşünüyoruz. Gayrimenkul alanında bir takım yatırımlara başlayacağız. Bu da ülkenin bize sunduğu güvenin bizim tarafımızdan bir cevabı olacak. Biz hemen hemen çalıştığımız her ülkede benzer bir model izliyoruz. Önce bir proje gerçekleştiriyoruz. Daha sonra da kendi yatırımlarımızı yapmaya gayret ediyoruz. Çünkü bu işlerin karşılıklı olması gerektiğine inanıyoruz. Onların bize verdiği şansı, imkanı biz de misliyle geri iade etmek istiyoruz. Dolayısıyla ben tekrar herkesi bu konuda teşvik ediyorum. Ruanda'nın önü çok açık. Umarım daha güzel işler, daha güzel işbirlikleri olur. Sağ olun Erhan Bey.
Ya Selim, çok teşekkür ederim. Şunu belirtmekte fayda görüyorum. Tarihteki tüm ilişkiler ticaretle başlamış. Ülkeler arası ilişkileri güçlendiren veya ülkeleri birbirine yakınlaştıran hep ticareti başlangıç almışlar. Ve senin de Türkiye-Ruanda arasındaki dostluğa, ilişkilere ve bu sıkı işbirliğine olan katkın yadsınamaz bir gerçek. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz görüşlerin, konuşman için. Şimdi efendim Rwanda Development Board, yani Rwanda Kalkınma Kurulu veya kurumu, Deputy CEO'su, CEO yardımcısı Sayın Zefani Niyonkuru'ya sözü vermek istiyorum. Kendilerinden Ruanda'da yatırım fırsatlarına bir görüş veya görüşler alacağız. Buyurun Sayın Niyonkuරු.
Thank you very much, the moderator. Thanks to everyone who spoke before me. It's quite interesting to speak after testimony from the likes of Suma, Minister of Trade and Industry, the Ambassador, and other speakers who came before me. Excellencies, Ministers, Ambassadors, Director Generals, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. It's my great pleasure and honor to participate in this important webinar, which has been organized to strengthen trade and investment ties between Rwanda and Turkey, and more specifically between the private sector members from both countries. Allow me to also extend my sincere appreciation to the organizers of this webinar for convening all of us to discuss strategic areas of collaboration, as well as giving us an opportunity to provide a platform to explore new areas that can help us navigate new opportunities to overcome the current challenges that members of the private sector have been facing, be the members of the private sector from Turkey, or be the members of the private sector from Rwanda. I'm also very happy to announce to the esteemed audience on this webinar that despite COVID-19 pandemic, the government of Rwanda has put in place several measures and guidelines contain the spread of COVID-19. Indeed, today, Rwanda is one of the few countries globally that have complied with the International Civil Aviation Organization regulations, which saw the recent opening of Kigali International Airport since August 1st. The opening was preceded by the setup of new preventive measures to allow resumption of activities and compliance with local and global health standards. The new measures aimed at boosting passengers' confidence in aviation, which in the same time reducing vulnerability of passengers and crew. Our airport is open and any Turkish investor or tourists can easily travel to Rwanda, and what we only require is conducting a COVID-19 PCR test 124 hours prior to arrival. And in the spirit of not wasting good crisis, the pandemic has taught us to be self-reliant and support the capacity of our local farms to produce essential commodities that were previously imported. And Rwanda is ready to host Turkish investors to explore areas of partnership and investments. Among these new opportunities or new areas where members of the private sector invested in include manufacturing of personal protective equipment to make sure that they join hands with the government as all of us combat this pandemic. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of efforts and initiatives by two governments to promote trade and investments have been put in place to facilitate our business communities and activities such as business forums, trade missions that were held both in Rwanda and in Turkey. All of these activities have facilitated close collaboration of our business communities. Many of you already know that the Rwanda business climate continue to be favorable to investments by offering stability and transparency. Our primary objective is to promote target sectors and anchor investments with the clear value proposition. Our manufacturing industry has steadily been growing and contributed about 17% to the country GDP, if you look into the data from 2019. And the objective is to keep that momentum and to attract more investments in goods that are most needed on the domestic market and for exports in order to reduce the existing trade deficit. The agro-processing sector is also another important area that we've been focusing on, which has really been also and currently offer investment opportunities that you get to learn more about. Rwanda, endowed with the abundant agricultural resources and significant labor force, offering a viable basis for agriculture-based investments and industries. Similarly, the government of Rwanda has put in place considerable effort to attract investments, be the foreign direct investments, be facilitating domestic investments, so as all of these investments can keep contributing to the economic development by not only providing jobs, but also facilitating and catalyzing capital formation. A more favorable economic situation for investment has been created in order to attract more investments, innovation, and joint ventures. Rwanda has been undertaking several reforms, as more of the speakers who spoke about me came back about it. As we speak, if you look into the ranking of the doing business by the World Bank in 2020, Rwanda is ranked the second place in Africa in terms of the ease of doing business. You can open a company in 6 hours, and you open this company without paying any fee, and you can open it online. Wherever you would be in the world, you'll be able to open your company and start business in Rwanda. We don't require, you can have 100% ownership if you are foreign, you can have 100% ownership if you are local, and you also can do a joint venture. Our investment code provides attractive fiscal and non-fiscal incentives for potential investors in the priority sectors, as I mentioned, including manufacturing and agro-processing. And in addition to that, Turkish investments are already supported through the bilateral investment treaty, which was signed and ratified by Rwanda in September 2018, which should provide more confidence in accessing the Rwanda market as Turkish investment destination. The neighboring investment environments offers business-friendly regulations, efficient and supportive process, commitment to foreign ownership, and other incentives for exporters in priority sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, at the Rwanda Development Board, our vision is to transform Rwanda into a dynamic global hub for business, for investments, and innovation. And we do that through our mission of fast-tracking economic development by enabling private sector growth. In essence, we exist to serve you, to serve the members of the private sector, to be successful, to flourish, and generate positive returns on their investments. We are fully committed to lead in implementing bold, progressive business-friendly reforms and provide conducive incentives and liberal trade regime to make Rwanda a trade and investment partner of choice for Turkish business community. We encourage strong partnerships between Rwanda and the Turkish business community that turn opportunities into profitable ventures with a lasting positive impact on the social and environmental well-being of citizens of both Rwanda and Turkey. Today, despite COVID-19 crisis, I can confidently say that Rwanda is open for business, and you will find us to be people who play by the rules of and respect of commitments. Let me conclude by thanking the organizers of this webinar session, and all of you who actively participated in this session, and end my remarks by encouraging Turkish investors to consider investing in key strategic sectors, including manufacturing, agro-processing, ICT, and logistics. Thank you very much.
Sayın Niyon Kuru, çok teşekkür ederiz verdiğiniz bilgiler ve görüşler için. Mr. Kajang Bey ile birleştirebilirsek, yani sizin söylediklerinizi, 170 milyon nüfusuna sahip bir pazara açılma için Rwanda hem kendisi hem diğer ülkeler için bir kapı ve aynı zamanda da bu çok önemli. Dünya Bankası Endeksinde iş yapma kolaylığı açısından Afrika'daki ikinci ülke. Bunu bu şekilde vurgulamak istiyorum. Çok teşekkür ederim tekrar. katıldığınız için, değerli görüşleriniz için. Şimdi efendim Rwanda Madenler, Petrol ve Gaz Kurulu CEO'su Sayın Francis Gatare'yi konuşmaları için davet etmek istiyorum. Rwanda'nın madencilik alanında anlatacak kendileri. Buyurun Sayın Gatare.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Excellence Ambassador Nziza, Deputy CEO, RDB, Chief Executive Officer, PSF, Rwanda, and your counterpart from Turkey, Excellence Ambassador of Turkey to Rwanda, distinguished members of the business community, both of Turkey and of Rwanda. I'm pleased to present to you opportunities in the mining sector of Rwanda, and also compliment my colleague from RDB to tell you about doing business in Rwanda in general. Allow me to share with you a presentation that I have prepared, and which will be able to help us follow the discussions. Let me one moment. I hope I can do this. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen. Is that correct now?
Sayın Gatare göremiyoruz efendim.
Okay. You cannot see my screen.
Evet, sizi görüyoruz.
Okay.
Ekranı göremedik ama.
One moment, then I should be able to share your screen, my screen with you.
İsterseniz share screen gibi bir şey varsa oralarda. Altta bir komut var, share screen diye. Oradan herhalde deniyorsunuz.
That's correct. Yes, that's the one I'm trying. And
oldu efendim. Görüyoruz.
You can see it now. Okay, very good, wonderful. So I want to share with you a number of reasons why we think that it makes a lot of sense for Turkish businesses to invest in Rwanda's mining sector. And there are 6 reasons. One is that we offer a very strong and supportive legal and regulatory framework. We have been carrying out exploration and discovered deposits of world-class tin, tantalum, tungsten mining deposits. And our region continues to be the most competitive in the world in these minerals we call 3Ts. And we have a very strong, currently untapped gold potential in this region. And number 4, we have been prospecting currently on very high grade lithium. Everybody knows the potential of lithium batteries for the electric vehicle revolution taking place. And in Rwanda, we've been making strong discoveries in this. And we have modern exploration of the highest priority with government. Government is at the forefront of investing in mineral exploration and partners closely with the private sector companies, including some of the renowned exploration companies like SRK and others. We've been consolidating small mining operations into considerably larger operations to make them viable and interesting for big mining companies. And as a result, we have several projects now that I'll be showcasing to you in due course. We also have a very simple regulatory framework. where we have only 4 institutions that work closely together. The Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board is the main regulator for the mining sector, but we work very closely with the RDB, CEO, Deputy CEO, and their management team, who are the single window approach for doing business in the country, as well as the Rwanda Environment Management Authority, because as you know, mining interferes a lot with the environment, and so we have to make sure that we are very close partners with the environment regulatory agency. So these 4 institutions work very closely together to make sure that mining operations in Rwanda are sustainable, but also to make sure that it's done efficiently. Rwanda is therefore committed to sustainable development of the mining sector because as a country, we have one of the high density population centers of the world. So our mining sector coexists with other economic activities. So we try to make sure that our legal and regulatory framework puts in place a conducive working relationship between mining sector and other economic activities, particularly agriculture, conservation, and others. Our policies also make it very attractive for investors to do business here. And we have very strong support from government to improve the mining sector and ensure that investors get good returns. Lastly, but not least, we have an ambition to become a regional hub for mineral services because we are at the center of the regional geological, of a region with a similar geological endowment. And a lot of mining activities in this region take place. And Rwanda has put in place a strategy to support mineral services, processing, beneficiation of these minerals. And some of the projects are in that regard. We have been working with international companies to ensure that mining and mineral products from Rwanda are transparent and that they have a traceability program so that you can trace minerals from the mine through the processing plants and to the end users. In that regard, we work with the International Tin Association, where we work with the International Association for Tantalum. We have a working program with the UK government, with the Extractives Hub, and several other international agencies that support traceability of minerals, all these to make sure that the minerals coming from Rwanda are conflict-free and are fully transparent and traceable from mine to the end user. We have recently revised our mining code to support the growth and investment into the sector. And this was meant to address a few things. One was to promote scale, to make sure that we are transitioning from a predominantly small scale mining sector to a more medium and large scale mining jurisdiction. The new mining code also ensured the facilitation for transition into modern mining methods and encourage greater foreign direct investments. So the tax regime, for example, associated with that and investment requirements were such that they will facilitate international foreign direct investment, but also to promote value addition, processing, and ensure that government is able to have a more predictable revenue arrangement with the mining companies. We ensured that the new code also promotes domestic industry to become a regional hub, as I mentioned earlier. So the new mining code also simplified the licensing procedures. For example, for exploration license, which is the starting point really of engaging into mining business here. It requires an application. You get a license for up to 4 years. It's renewable. You can have multiple blocks, each of 400 hectares at the minimum. And there are no restriction on ownership. and it can be renewed as many times as the exploration activities are required. When exploration is complete and exploitation licenses are required, we have three categories of mineral exploitation licenses. We have the large-scale mining license, we have the medium-scale mining license, and the small-scale mining license. The large-scale mining license has a duration of up to 15 years, also renewable, and you can have multiple blocks of 400 hectares each. The medium-scale mining license is 10 years renewable, and a minimum block of 100 hectares each. But there is a caveat to this one, because it's a medium scale. There is a requirement for partnership between local investors as well as international investors. So for the medium scale, there has to be a minimum 40% of local ownership. This was to make sure that it becomes a transition from the small scale to the large scale mining. In which case, the small scale mining license is for 5 years. It's a small area focused, 50 hectares, and it's reserved for the traditional artisanal miners whom we are graduating into more formal operations. So it's 100% local shareholders. However, it can transform itself into a medium scale license, and then partnership with the international investors is created. This was very important for us to make sure that we avoid situations where in some mining jurisdictions, in some countries, you have conflict between international investors in mining and local, a term some people call resource nationalism. So to avoid resource nationalism, we created a safe space for the small traditional miners so that they can have their operations, but also have a transition once they are able to raise their capital investment. We have a transparent fiscal regime, really around two things. One is the corporate income tax, which is applicable to all sectors of the economy, 30%, and royalty-based approach to minerals. We have two royalty fees, one for the base metals or industrial minerals of 4% on gross value, and royalties on precious metals, gold, gemstones, and others of 6% on gross value. So this is as it is. There is a local communities tax. We call it fees, which is a surface fees. If you have, say, 400 hectares license, there's an annual fee for each hectare of land to the local community. This is as a way to make sure that the company is linked directly with the local authorities and also generate some income to the local communities. It's a very minimum amount of 6,000 Rwandan francs per hectare. So it's not a significant amount and wouldn't make a big difference. But it's important for the local communities to see that the mining operations have a contribution to them. Rwanda as a country has been investing into an extensive infrastructure network, whether it's a road network, electric grid network, or water networks around the country. And even where there is no piped water, Rwanda is fortunate to have a natural endowment of rivers and streams, which makes water widely available across the country wherever mining operations are required. And the electricity and road network is equally widely available across the country. So in any part of the country where mining operations take place, since infrastructure is important for evacuating the minerals, but also for bringing in materials, the road network play a vital role, thus making it easier to do business in the country. Since the beginning of this year, the mining operations in our country were interrupted by COVID. But very quickly, when the government understood what COVID is and the measures to protect against its spread are, the mining sector was among the first sectors to be given green light to begin operations. So we put in place COVID-specific guidelines to make sure that operations can continue unhindered. And regularly we are carrying out inspections to make sure that the mining operations are abiding by this. They include, for example, increased ventilation, reducing of the number of people carrying out social distancing, even while doing mining activities, screening and testing regularly of workers and staff. Miners or mining operators put in place a tracing program to make sure that everybody who comes to the mining site, they are recorded, they are known, and they know who their contacts are, as well as allowing workers to do their job in shifts rather than in large numbers. People in mining sector are used to wearing personal protection equipment, so this was nothing new to them, even though additional protection was required. So it was very easy to enforce these guidelines in our sector. As a result, the mining operations in Rwanda are currently close to 100% where they should be, and operations are continuing to generate revenue for the country. Rwanda has several active mining companies, both local and international, some of whom are shown on the screen here before you. So let me introduce to you the Geological Endowment of Rwanda. Our country has got a wide spread of minerals across the country. Because of the size of Rwanda, we have a common geological structure across the country. North, south, west, as a result, they are mineral deposits of different kinds. Okay, so this is very, very important because then it means that across the country, we are able to license operations there. Okay, we have also been carrying out explorations for precious minerals, including gemstones, and what you see on the screen, the different stars represent various types of gemstones, sapphires, gold, amethyst, tourmalines, and others across the country, especially on the western rift of our country. We have companies that are beginning to carry out mineral processing and smelting. We have a company currently smelting tin. We have a company who are developing a refinery for tantalum niobium separation. We have a gold refinery in Rwanda, but we also have projects that we are promoting to investments, particularly focusing on smelting of tungsten, which is widely mined here in Rwanda, investments into cutting and polishing of gemstones. We are currently exporting gemstones in bulk in containers, and a lot of value is being lost because many of those gemstones they should be. And so we are promoting a project. We are promoting for manufacturing and assembly of mining equipment, including service the mining sector. In illustration of the gold deposits in our region, extending from Rwanda, going into DRC, and this geological formation with large deposits of gold is a fairly extensive one, capturing an entire region. And we have projects for further exploration and development of gold mining deposits in our country. We have 23 potential target areas that have been developed as a result of government-financed exploration across the country. These projects are at different levels of detail of exploration. The green projects are fairly advanced, where we have economic studies, resource estimates, some drilling work has already been done, and bulk samples tested in the laboratories. The brown ones are intermediate exploration, where we've done some trenching, ground geophysics work, and we have tested sediment samples from streams and valleys, tested in laboratories, and we have a fair understanding of the mineral potential in those regions. And the purple ones, where we have early stage exploration, where we have carried out airborne geophysics and geological mapping on the ground, and we have satellite imagery that demonstrates the potential. I must say, the whole country of Rwanda had been mapped through airborne geophysics. We have overflown the country with an airplane equipped with geophysics equipment, and we have 3D models of the properties of potential minerals across the country, which is what leads us when we go for ground geological mapping. And so there is a very strong understanding of the mineral potential of our country across the different corners of this country. So we've been consolidating small operations into larger operations targeting international investment. And we have a few that we are proposing. Already there are some Rwandan operators, but they are sitting on very rich deposits. And we have consolidated them to make sure that with the additional capital investment, they can be done at a more industrial scale. This block called Kabachuzi covers more than 9,600 hectares. It's a geological formation known as pegmatite, which have lithium in them, they have tin in them, tantalum in them, and very easy to process, but highly rich in all those minerals. We have also a consolidated block called Rugendabari, which is over 10,000 hectares, equally rich in tin ore or casterite, in tantalum ore or coltan, some areas also in wolframite. And this is also available for partnership with the local investors. A third block called the block to the southeastern part of our country, over 23,000 hectares. This is particularly special because it also has rare earth metals. Everybody knows the importance of rare earth metals in today's geopolitics and economics. And this particular region is very rich in those, including the columbite tantalite ores, as well as tin and lithium. There is a fourth one called Rijojo, which is more than 14,000 hectares. By the way, all these blocks are within 2-hour driving distance from Kigali, and very accessible with the infrastructure that I mentioned before. Equally rich in niobium, tantalum, wolframite, and casterite minerals. There is a region called Nyanza, which is to the south of our country, 11,000 hectares, split between 2 districts, 3 districts really, equally rich in tantalum, niobium, lithium, and cesium mineral ores.
Sayın Gatare, üzülerek bölüyorum ama toparlayabilirsek, süreyi çok aştık. Bu konuda desteğinizi rica ediyorum.
Okay, very good. Let me, I think to the end, we have opportunities in exploration of petroleum. We are carrying out currently hydrocarbon market a tender for this job. That's it. I should thank you all for your kind attention and look forward to additional discussion.
Sayın Gatare çok teşekkür ederiz. Gerçekten çok detaylı bir sunum. Bu sunumu büyük ihtimalle paylaşma imkanınız olur herhalde. Dinleyicilerimizle de paylaşabiliriz. Bu ilgiyi sıcak tutmak ve sizinle temaslarını gerçekleştirmek için ilgililerin. Şimdi efendim bu tüm sunumlar için tüm konuşmacılara çok teşekkür ediyorum. Şimdi firma sunumlarına geçeceğiz ki bu çok önemli bir bölüm. Bu firma sunumları kısmında da moderasyonu Rwanda Özel Sektör Federasyonu CEO'su Sayın Stefan Ruzibiza gerçekleştirecek. Sözü kendisine bırakıyorum. Daha sonra zamanımız kaldığı takdirde sorulara geçeceğiz. Yazılı olarak soruların bir kısmını aldık. Bunlarla ilgili yazılı cevaplar verilebiliyor. Ama sözlü olarak da aynı soruları hitaplarına yani kime hitap ediliyorsa onlara soracağız. Buyurun Sayın Ruzibiza.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for participating. I will just give a few rules of our next step. This session is for purposely for interacting to be the B2B session, and I'm expecting the members who are going to have the floor. We have 7 presentations, 4 from Turkey and 3 from Rwanda. We have the sectors from furniture, energy, travel agencies, and then food and agriculture processing. So without further ado, I would want to invite Mr. Marud Rahim, Karik Energy. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for all. This is Murad Rahim from Chalik Energy Company.
Sorry to intervene. If you cannot use more than 3 to 5 minutes.
I will do my.
Thank you so much.
May I share my screen, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much. No, if you can see my screen.
Görüyoruz efendim.
Okay. Thank you so much. I would like to make a quick presentation regarding Chalik Energy, which is a member of Chalik Group of Companies. Chalik Group of Companies actually consists active in 7 sectors, in also more than 20 countries. And as you see, the overall revenue for all holding is more than $2 billion, with EBITDA more than $200 million. I will pass a little fast to come to the Chalik Energy. We are, as I said, active in more than 20 countries, as you see. As I mentioned in previous slide, actually Chalik Group of Company is active in 7 sectors, and the biggest one is in energy. In the EPC and IPP projects, also we have arm in construction represented by GAP Construction Company. Also, we own 2 banks, one in Turkey named Active Bank, which is commercial bank, and the other is can be considered the biggest bank in Albania, BKT Bank, also owned by Chalik Group. In the mining, we have a big mining company represented by Lydia Madancilik. We have gold mining inside Turkey. We are producing more than, I believe, 250,000 ounces per year. We are also cooperation there with a Canadian company. Also, we are active in textile. We have many factories inside Turkey and outside Turkey for textile. In telecommunication, we own fixed line and cell phone line in Albania, represented by Eagle cell phone. And also, we recently established a digital company as a joint venture with GE Digital. as I mentioned, this is the revenue is coming from, the biggest revenue is coming from energy, as you've seen, and gap construction. Now, if we come to the energy, Çalık Energy, actually we are ranked in ENR since 10 years, and in the last ENR, we ranked as in 119 in the world. But if we come to the in the power plant sector, we are number 6 in the world. And also in the transmission and distribution segment, we ranked as 15 among all companies in the world as well. We are active in the EPC, which is the biggest segment, and also we have our own investment inside Turkey, especially for renewable energies. Also, we have a distribution segment with natural gas distribution and electrical distribution. As you've seen, Çalık Energy, actually we are active in from CIS region to Middle East and North Africa. We have offices in Libya, Kosovo, Iraq, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and recently, as you've seen, actually we have a small project in Malawi, which is our first project in Sub-Saharan region. We are now constructing a hydropower plant in Malawi with 20 megawatt, which is small, but it is good to start a work in Sub-Sahara. And now recently our team, I can proudly announce that our team now in Senegal, they are in final negotiation with the client for constructing 300 megawatt power plant in Dakar. As you've seen, the blue is our target countries, especially for the, I would like to make your attention for the Africa region. This is some indication about our financial statement. As you've seen, in the last 3 years, our total assets is more than $1 billion. When we come to the EPC segment, we already installed more than 9 gigawatt electrical power plants. This is combined cycle power plants or simple cycle power plants. We completed 22 projects, and we already have 4 ongoing projects in the worldwide. If we come to our ongoing projects, we have a small port rehabilitation in Iraq, and also have a fleet maintenance in Turkmenistan. And as I mentioned, in Malawi, we have Tadzani 4 hydropower plant. And we recently started construction of TAP project. This is really very big. I would like to explain a little more here. This is Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan overhead line projects. This is 100% Çalık Holding investment. We will transfer or translate the electricity from Turkmenistan to Afghanistan, and from Afghanistan to Pakistan. The capacity of the overhead line will be more than 2 gigawatts. This is just, I will skip this for some information about the projects. I will share, of course, the presentation with you all. This is also TAP. The total investment in our TAP projects is exceed $1.5 billion. This is our completed projects, especially in Turkmenistan and Turkey, Iraq, Uzbekistan, Georgia, Libya, and Yemen. This is Mari 3 combined cycle power plant. It is the biggest combined cycle power plant installed in CIS region in Turkmenistan. This is 1,574 megawatt, and the contract value is exceed more than $1 billion. This is also some projects from our Iraq project, which we already completed. This is our Navoy combined cycle project. I will exit this. This is also in Georgia, combined cycle. This is in Libya. And this is Ashgabat AST. It's also one of the important projects. Actually, we upgrade and moderate all the power supply in Ashgabat city. We construct this project in 3 phases, and the total amount of 3 phases was exceed €1 billion. As you've seen, the project consists of hundreds of transformers and 100 kilometers of underground and overhead lines, also many pieces of transformers and substations. We have IPP projects inside Turkey, especially in renewable. Recently, we operating almost 100 megawatt solar power plant in Turkey, and also 70 megawatt wind power plant also inside Turkey. This is our Çalık Holding investment projects, and our actually target is to reach 1,000 megawatt within 2023. As you see, this is some projects of hydropower plant. Also, I'm sorry to mention about our hydropower plant. We have 30 megawatt hydropower plant also inside Turkey as Çalık investment. This is our wind power plant and Sarpancık, total 70 megawatt. This is our Adıcak hydropower plant and our solar power plants, as you see. This is Amasya solar power plant. Also the solar power plant. And now we come to the distribution. As I mentioned, we have electricity distribution in Turkey and outside of Turkey. We are serving 7 million. We have also 7 million users in Turkey and Kosovo. We are distributing the distribution, electricity distribution of all Kosovo is done by Çalık Energy. Also, 11 cities inside Turkey, the distribution is done also by Çalık Energy. As you see, the capacity is more than 11 million kilowatt hour, and 13 cities, including of course Kosovo. And we have 3 companies. KITS is representing Kosovo with 1.8 million users, and YEDAŞ at the north side of Turkey is, we have 3 million users, and Aras in the east side of Turkey, which we have 2 million users. This is some information about our distribution company. Thank you so much. I try to be really more fast. If you have any question, I will be more than glad to receive it. And as I mentioned, I will share the presentation with you. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Let's go to the next presenter. Can we have Mr. Dagon from Fancha? Then after the 2 presentations, I will go to the next 2 Rwandans so that we can have 2 versions, respectively, Mr. Benjamin and Dan. They will follow in that order.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Can you hear me? Morning, Stefan. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if others can hear you, but I can hear you.
Is it my turn?
I had called for Dagon, Eras.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if he's hearing. Then
sorry.
After
let me wait then.
After him to be you.
Okay, thank you.
Ufuk Bey duyabiliyor musunuz? Sizi anons ediyor ama Stefan Bey.
Şu anda duydum. Özür diliyorum. Herkese merhabalar. Duyabiliyorsunuz herhalde beni. Dear Ambassador, dear Presidents, dear Chairmen,
Yes,
dear distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to wish you, all the participants, good health, success in your life and business. Thank you for this webinar. I am very happy to be part of it. Today, I would like to introduce my company, ERSA. My name is Ufuk Dogan. I am the International Sales Manager of ERSA. Now, I'm going to share with you my screen for the company presentation. ERSA is a furniture production manufacturer company in Turkey. It is founded in 1958, so we are 60 years now, 6 decades. ERSA is one of the pioneers in the furniture sector in Turkey, one of the leading company with the production, manufacturing of furniture. ERSA has the quality support from the government as well. And now I'm going to share with you the information about the main production to not make too much focused on the design and innovation. Of course, of the 62 years experience, we have the ethics, vision, and missions of all our company. Around 1,000 people is working with us. Our timeline, I just want to share it very quickly. 58 is the founder day, and then the 62, the chair that we have designed by Mr. Metin, our founder, and then the factory 1960, as you see on the right corner, and then 2009, we have moved to our new factory in Ankara, Organize Sanayi Bölgesi. The power is 2011, which is we got the Red Dot Design Award. Red Dot Design Award is one of the most important design awards in the world. So we have around more than 60 international local design awards. Collaboration with local and international companies like Hayward is a major companies in the production of furniture in the world. Nowadays, our strength depends on the family, production, and designers. Now, third generation is on the rule, as you see from time on some pictures. And now I want to give you the production facilities information. ERSA 3 factories, all of them is in Ankara. One is the wooden panel production, which means wooden is laminates, veneer, all kinds of wood production. Upholstered means sofa, chairs, and the other upholstered items, and metal production. We are one of the strength company in the region for exporting our furniture to 41 countries all over the world. Now we are going to see some pictures from our factory, which is one of the best factory in Turkey, and I want to say, you see, this is the metal furniture factory, most technological one, and very experienced staff. Some pictures from the wood side. Designers. This is our main core issue. We are working with the very good designers all over the world, from Italy, from Portugal, from Dutch, from Turkey. This power, we are doing our furniture. We are manufacturer, and also in our company we have on our design team, ERSA design team, and then governmental support. We have the first company design center company in Turkey. Our designs are business. Let's continue our work. We do office furniture. This is the main power. We do all kinds of managers, workstations for the staff, chairs, all kinds of big sale, or small scale, mid to half economy all over the world. Life, we do home furniture, residential furniture. Some of the pictures I'm sharing with you. Hospitality, we do hotels, contract-based business all over the world. Maybe 10,000 rooms for 5 years. We complete sometimes term solutions we are providing with architects and our installers all over the world. Healthcare, nowadays, because of the COVID, the healthcare is very important. We have been completed around 5 hospitals in Turkey. These are the PPP projects. And also we have just completed one hospital project in Georgia. In Africa, in different countries, we have complete loose furniture, not medical stuffs in the hospitals. Education, we do schools, we do libraries. Finance sector, we do bank branches, also telecommunication companies, showrooms, branches. Governmental, we supply one of the government projects in Turkey, also in near companies, neighbor countries. References, case study. This is our presidential complex library in Ankara. You see all the furniture over here from zero to end, we have completed. SAP, it's a multinational company, their head office we have completed. Renaissance construction company head office. Some projects in Bodrum. Also in USA, we have completed several projects with the Turner Construction Company. We do their kitchens. These are the hotel preferences. Lösev, it's a hospital. In this, we do all loose, movable furniture and also fixed furniture. And showrooms. We have the showrooms in Istanbul, in Acıbadem. This is the office showroom. Altunizade. This is the Skyland. This is the home furniture showroom. Ankara, Ofisyum Beytepe, İzmir, Ankara, İzmir, Bursa, Adana, and then of course all over the world. These are some points that we have been doing business in the world. I would like to thank you for all the participants, and again, wish you health and success in your business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dagan. Our next presentation is from Mr. Benjamin, but I would want to propose, if you have any question, please feel free to write it on the wall chat. Then during the Q&A, we shall read out the questions. Benjamin, please.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Distinguished leaders of both government and private sector, dear participants, dear colleagues. First of all, I would like to thank the PSF and DEİK to have organized this webinar meeting, which is really very interesting and insightful for our private community, both in Rwanda and Turkey. We are really learning a lot. I'm representing the manufacturing sector, and I'm going to talk as an implementer of all the policies and which have been already presented by both the Ministry of Trade and Industry and Rwanda Development Boards. I would like to start by asking ourselves a question: why do we need Turkish private sector to invest or to cooperate with Rwandan private sector? I think here the answer is obvious, because Turkish technology is one of the best now, and indeed highly competitive. And this is really what we need in Rwanda. We need to be competitive, and we need to have a very good quality. And it shows with the projects which have been already developed, especially the construction projects which have been already developed by Turkish, but also in trade we have seen in the recent 5 to 10 years, we have seen a good penetration of Turkish products, and we know the quality is really good. So instead of importing them, we need to produce them locally. And here I would like to give some sectors which can be of priority. Like if we see a sector like food processing, this is a sector that we have seen an improvement in the first quarter of year 2020. We've seen an improvement, a progress of 11%. The sector of textile, clothing, and leather has also grown at a rate of 11%. Chemicals and plastic products have grown at a rate of 5%. This, of course, we have also other sectors, the construction sector, ICT, etc. But these three sectors are showing really a very high interest and a huge potential. If you talk of food processing, you see in Africa, we keep on importing processed goods in foods, which really we shouldn't be importing. And everybody will agree with me that if we produce them in Rwanda, this will be a huge, which will make a huge impact, not only in Rwanda, but also in the whole area. Textile, it's the same thing. You know, the policies here in Rwanda, but also in most of the countries, is to ban the second-hand clothing. And this is an opportunity to develop development in this sector. Chemicals, of course, given the pandemic, but also the transformation of our societies, which are becoming, the middle class is growing very fast. And this is where you need most of these products, the usage of these products is becoming more, the demand is becoming really, is growing very fast. And how are we going to do it? I think it has already been said that we have a good environment, one of the best environments that I have ever seen of operating in to do business, but not only do business, but to be profitable. Because the goodwill and the highest commitment of the government is there. It's no need to mention it because everybody knows it. You know, the rankings we always have shows it. But not only that, also the local private sector is eager to do that because we know that alone we can't do it. So there are some industrial parks which have already been developed. There's one, the biggest one is in Kigali, but we have some others also in the areas close to Kigali, and even one which is well positioned close to the new airport. Those industrial parks will need investors, and Rwandan investors alone cannot do it. So that's why we need a good cooperation with highly competitive and very capable private sector like the Turkish private sector. And another thing is that the position of Rwanda. When you see geographically the position of Rwanda, Rwanda is in the middle. Although Rwanda is land linked, it doesn't. We don't have any seaports, but we have developed dry ports. And you see, Rwanda is in the middle of a highly potential area, both in human, because it's highly populated, but also you have also natural resources which are abundant. This is an opportunity that if you invest mining has been, I think this, the CEO of the mining board has given us the opportunities. If you invest and you transform all those natural resources, you will get an increase in GDP, and the people will be able to consume all the products which can be produced locally. And I see in this really a huge opportunity that we alone in the private sector in Rwanda, we cannot realize without your cooperation or you working together. And that's why we will really be most welcoming to you to come and show you the immense opportunities and see together how we can cooperate to realize this in Rwanda and even beyond.
Sorry to come in, Mr. Benjamin, if you can move towards the closure. We are running out of time, please.
Yeah, I'm going to close. I was about to close. And I think by closing, it's again appealing to the Turkish private sector, telling them that we are ready, we are welcoming them. And anytime, even though we had the period of the pandemic, but I think now we can resume even the physical contacts so that we can both see physically what we can do together. I thank you very much.
Can we now have presentation from Mr. Tevfik, the chairman of DEİK Food and Agriculture?
Yes. Sayın Büyükelçim, kıymetli başkanım, değerli misafirler, ben tabii paydaşlarımızın ortak diliyle sunumuma devam etmek istiyorum İngilizce olarak. Dear Excellency, dear President, and dear guests, I'd like to introduce myself and my company to you today shortly. We running out of time. I know I am aware of the last minutes of the meeting, but I would like to really thank to Mr. Erhan Barutoğlu and the chairman of Rwanda and Turkey Business Council. Really, he is great, doing good and great things for us. We are thankful to him. My name is Tevfik Dönmez. I am the chairman of Dönmezler Spices, dealing in fine food since 2002, specializing in import, export, and producing of spices and also natural products, with 15% market share in Turkey, in Turkish local market, and also good market share in overseas markets. But today I would like to focus on food. What is the need for food for us? Today we will just elaborate on food. Food plays very critical role and very big, covers big place in our life, affecting all the relations right now you are observing in especially pandemic time. So what is new in food? What's happening in food for us, for the world? I would like to say first new is in food. I think the paradigm change in food because it's affecting day by day, especially with COVID-19 coming to us. So governments, companies, for us and for you, we have to export value-added food products. Otherwise, we cannot increase our income. So people focus on this issue too much. That's to say, I would like to say, instead of $1 or $2 per kilogram export, we focus on $5 to $10 per kilogram. So it means value-added products. This is very new and the true way to open to good market and to have a good income. For this market, USA, Europe, Latin America, and also Asia Pacific countries, India, China, very popular nowadays, you know, and some African countries, South Africa, Rwanda, why not, and MENA region countries. The more you pay in food, the better you feel yourself better, because there is a risk of equality when you pay less. This is the reality of the world. Food market, unfortunately. Another what is new for us, the shape of the food product. The shape of product means we say mini dose of the product. Really very amazing when you look at the China or India, 5 gram, 10 gram packing. So one apricot, only one apricot in one packing, you can see in Chinese supermarket. So especially COVID-19 is very risky time, and we should take care. We should say virus here, virus there. So we should too much take care. So in restaurants, in touristic places, in coffee shops, people would like to use single use only one product. So they use and they throw it. So it should be very mini dose, 5 gram, 10 gram. This is the new trend in food. People have to get accustomed to. Another issue, another new for food is safety. Everybody would like to be safe when you are having, when you are eating. So this is very important. So people nowadays would like to have less portion but functional while eating. So that's another case. So you should categorize your market. You should go to middle class. You should go to upper class, and you should know when you are doing fine food. It should be halal. It should be natural products, especially coming from farm to our table. So I would like to emphasize here, conventional products, old habits are out, and now organic products and new normal in COVID-19 is in. So we have to change something. Another new in food, what is that? There is a risk. Everybody knows. Every country now is taking precautions. That is food supply chain. Now is being actually broken. So people, I say food security, supply security is in danger. So this is coronavirus causing this problem. So all the government take precaution and would like to import. For example, last 10 months ago, I was in China, and China assured $2 trillion importation, $150 billion only food importation. Why? Because they know the case, they know the disease for 2 years ago, and they started this exhibition, China International Import Exhibition. They started 2 years ago. So they are taking good care of their stock. So every country should do this. This is another news for food. The last news in food, I think true market for income of our companies, for increase our income. What is that? That's to say we should target the product. What children, what women, what the people need for their daily life, especially nowadays, COVID-19 virus is right now coming to us. So we should get our immune system stronger. So we should take care of our products. Our brand name for our company is take care of you, take a good care of you. So even healthy life trend in Turkey, in the world, in last 10 years, there is a really very peak. And after COVID-19, this peak has reached to the top level. So this is a paradigm change we have faced in life since last 10 months, actually. So, but I can assure here, Turkey, Mr. Erhan Baradoğlu, Mr. Ruzi Bizda, Turkey is a really safe and rich home of the organic, natural and halal product. We can say this. Really, this is a reality, and our country rushed to the market of Turkey and would like to buy from Turkey. Really needed to have a look at those some functional products saving our life. Some of them, one is from Korean ginseng. Ginseng is grown in Korea, but also Mediterranean carob. Carob is a fruit grown in Turkey. So these defense to cancer disease, really amazing. You cannot imagine, incredible. How torn?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please be mindful of time.
Yes, the last 1 minute, Mr. Rizouza, how to vinegar saves our life like a micro-surgical instrument. So organic hazelnuts, organic apricot for digestion, organic raisin for blood cells. So especially I would like to say rosehip, homemade rosehip marmalade. This is protects people against COVID-19 because it makes your immune system stronger. Even very many products I cannot say, I cannot count here because time consideration is really now very limited. So I don't want to overwhelm you in my speech presentation. Our company, our brand name, Mr. Food, we is the best for your health. We assure it's natural, hygienic, organic, and halal products we supply. We produce, as I said, this is a paradigm change in the world. We produce organic certificate products. We produce halal, functional, and natural products needful for this pandemic as well. And at last, really thanks again and again to all the participants listening to us patiently, together with us, all the guests, especially Mr. Erhan Baradoğlu, Mr. Stefan Ruzibiza, thank you for your organization. I believe this fruitful meeting will open doors to business opportunities for both countries, friend countries. My part, I enjoyed too much. Rwanda, I like it very best in Africa. So I believe it is a good step for bridge for further business deals. Thank you. Thank you again for your time consideration and your kind patience. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Next, Mrs. Grubak. Once again, kindly bear in mind the time constraint we have.
Of course. Your Excellencies, distinguished Chairman, esteemed colleagues from Rwanda, thank you for holding this efficient meeting and inviting us as TURSAP. I'll be making a brief presentation giving you a brief overview of TURSAP and tourism relations, the current status of relations with Rwanda. So I'll share my screen. Okay. I hope you can see right now. Can you see, I wonder?
Sure, you can continue.
Okay. So my name is Gülbak and I'm the Director of Corporate Affairs at TURSAP. TURSAP is the Association of Turkish Travel Agencies. We have currently 12,000 member travel agencies across Turkey. We were established by law, which makes it mandatory to become a member of TURSAP, to register with the association if you'd like to carry out travel agency activities in Turkey. We have regional chapters across Turkey, 35 of them. We have chairmanships of tourism expertise that work in different fields of tourism, as you see. We participate in national and international fairs. Here we can see a list of them, major ones internationally. We participated in 9 international fairs in the past term. We also hold our own tourism exhibition every year in Izmir in December. We hold promotion events and workshops in Turkey for different destinations and countries. And we also have our own projects for the digitalization of the tourism sector. We prepared a roadmap to digitalize the travel agency sector and especially the travel agencies. For the pandemic, we actually prepared a very in-depth report about how the post-pandemic period is going to look and how the trends are going to follow and how tourism is going to look. So this is our own issue, our own publishing. We also hold info visits for heads of diplomatic missions in order to introduce different destinations in our country to the diplomats that are on duty in Turkey. We have joint projects with United Nations. In fact, last year we signed an MOU with UNDP to generate projects on sustainable tourism. And we also have a vocational high school, a technical high school, as well as a magazine. We issue this magazine, the Voice of Travel magazine, and we'd be pleased to give space to Rwanda as a tourism destination. We have TURSAP TV, which broadcasts on travel agency profession and up-to-date subjects that are to be discussed on tourism issues. We have a tourism academy at TURSAP. We hold many courses and seminars in order to train qualified personnel for the sector. We also hold social responsibility projects. We've held responsibility projects for women, women's health, as well as child protection services. So I'm sure many of the Rwandan participants are already familiar with Turkey, but still we are a very populous country, as you see, with 12,000 years of history. We've been home to 13 civilizations. And as Istanbul, we're within very easy reach of many people in the world. 1.5 billion people live within a 4-hour flight of Istanbul. And if we are to look at the Turkish tourism in a nutshell, these are figures, of course, from last year, from 2019. Before the pandemic, we were the 6th most preferred destination in the world, with 1.5 million bed capacity. And before the COVID period, as you see, we hosted 51.2 million foreign visitors in our country. We ranked 13th worldwide, and we had over $34 billion in revenues, and tourism makes up 8.7% of national employment in Turkey. So if we are to share the pre-COVID figures and the current figures for the tourism in Turkey, as you see last year, the total of the period between January and July only, we had 24.5 almost foreign visitors. Currently, this number declined to 5.4 million visitors, and the revenues have declined from 34.5 billion USD to currently in the first quarter of this year, 4.1 billion US dollars, as you see. So unfortunately, we're carrying the impacts of the pandemic quite harshly. Here you can see some incoming data. The countries that sent us most tourists in 2019, the top 5 are ranked here. Russia, Germany, Bulgaria, UK, Iran, but there's been some shift at the current data between these countries. Germany ranks #1 right now, and followed by, as you see, Bulgaria, Georgia, Russia, and Ukraine. For outgoing data in the first quarter of this year, Turks mostly visited Bulgaria, Germany, Iraq, Iran, and Azerbaijan. This was a little different. The whole portrait was different last year. We had Greece and Germany ranking differently. So tourism relations with Rwanda, in 2018, we received 697 visitors from Rwanda. In last year, we received over 1,000 visitors from Rwanda. Of course, these figures we hope to see at a much higher level, hopefully after the pandemic. And this is why we are participating here today, in order to open the way to discuss more fields of cooperation with our Rwandan counterparts. Airway transportation, the flights were suspended as of March 21st due to the pandemic, but they're scheduled to start on August 31st as 3 weekly direct flights. And the visa policy, there is a visa regime. The official passport holders are subject to visa from the Rwandan side, so are the public passport holders. So how can we collaborate? We actually started discussion and dialogue in the last term. We hosted the ambassador of the Republic of Rwanda to Turkey, His Excellency Williams Nkurunziza, in TURSAP. We started our dialogue, and we had discussions of carrying out promotion events of Rwanda, a Rwandan night. However, the pandemic unfortunately got in the way. But currently what we are doing with other countries is we're holding online platforms for online workshops and online promotion events. And a few countries have actually done that during the pandemic. So we're always ready to announce a possible potential Rwandan night or a Rwandan online event to our members, and we'd be pleased to participate. It could be a promotion event, and agencies from both sides could attend, and we could hold, you know, an online B2B workshop. And of course, hopefully the pandemic clears up as soon as possible, and we can go on with the usual info visits, press hostings, fairs, fam trips. That is what we wish for, actually. We can always give space, as I said before, to the Rwandan destination at our magazine, The Voice of Travel magazine. So we're always ready and open to cooperate. And if there are any ideas from our Rwandan colleagues, we're always ready to evaluate mutually. So thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, I'd be pleased to answer you.
Thank you so much. Can we have now Mr. Vianney? Kabera Vianney, and please feel free to write down your question on the wall chat. We shall read them immediately after the presentation of Dan. Thank you. Hello, Vianney Kabera, are you with us? I can see the screen, but I can't hear you. Could probably on mute. If Vianney is not ready, we can have Dan as we check out with Vianney Kabera.
Good morning. Can you hear me well?
We can hear it, Dan. Please, you're welcome.
Very good. Thank you very much. Excellencies, ambassadors, honorable members, distinguished guests. I guess all protocols observed. It's a pleasure to participate on this forum and a pleasure to introduce myself. My name is Dan Klink. I'm the CEO for East African Power. We're based here in Kigali. I'm Canadian, and I've been here for the last 10 years. EAP, we're a renewable energy development company. We invest, we develop, we build, we own, and we operate small hydro and solar power projects. We are one of the leading services providers for solar and hydropower technologies in the region. We have more than 200 staff in Rwanda. We're now operating in 10 different countries. We have 5 operational IPP plants, 5 in construction, 25 in development, with a range of up to 1,100 megawatts in the development pipeline. I'm an active board member in the Private Sector Federation, our Energy Private Developers Association. We've had over 100 members over the last few years, and it's a great place for our fellow distinguished business community from Turkey to explore which business partners you might want to work at in the sector. So perhaps I could give a glance at where we're at in the sector, and I really appreciated the presentation from the Calic Energy describing the hundreds and hundreds of megawatts. When I arrived 10 years ago, the installed capacity was less than 100 with a grid that was 60% dependent on diesel fuel. That has changed drastically. It's over 50% of the supply mix is in hydro. We have the peat, and soon to have an excellent peat plant from Hakan. So our total installed capacity in Rwanda is 225 megawatts. We're on a clear trajectory to hit about 350 in the next couple years and about 550 by 2025. I think the most exciting thing taking place in Rwanda is that really it's we're on a clear journey to become one of the first countries of achieving universal access to electricity. And so about 50% of that will be driven by the off-grid sector. And so I think that there's significant business to take place on the on-grid and generation side over the next 10 years, probably about $500 million worth of investment in country. I would say that there's about 500 million of investment clearly in PPP and other investment opportunities for transmission and distribution, at least another 500 million in the off-grid sector, clean cooking, mini grids, solar home systems, and so on. So there's vast economic opportunities in Rwanda, but I think what was really well highlighted from the community is that Rwanda is a gateway. And this is the experience that we've had, that we've enjoyed. And of course, our trajectory of moving our company to developing 1,000 megawatts of clean energy is that won't achieve within Rwanda. But Rwanda is an excellent gateway. And it's one thing to hear our wonderful ministers and members from the government partners speak about doing business in Rwanda. Sometimes it's different to hear it from the private sector. I've been here for 10 years. This is a no corruption environment. I've never been asked to pay a bribe. I've never had to. There's great rule of law. It's a beautiful country, and our family definitely loves living here for many of those reasons. There's tremendous fiscal incentives taking place. And I think if you look at the opportunities across Africa as an investment place, there's significant reforms taking place where Rwanda will compete very effectively with Mauritius. It's a great place for headquarters and holdings companies, which will only pay about a 3% tax. One of the major highlights and things to think about, I think was brought up by Antoine in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, is that the market is 1.25 billion. And I think what's exciting about the access to electricity, needing 600 million new connections, about 200 million to be achieved across the continent in grid extension, 200 million with mini or microgrids, 200 million with solar home systems, is that the market is vast, but that's today. And I think that over the next 30 years, we clearly see that the population increase up to 2.5 billion means that the market opportunities are that much more vast. Certainly, I would just like to highlight that while it's the COVID season and people are staying safe and it's maybe difficult with travel, I think so much business can be done and driven online. Greatly encourage those in the business community to reach out to epdrwanda.com or through the PSF links. If you're looking to set up your business in Rwanda, we're East African Power. We're developing a renewable energy village close to the convention center, where we'll be incubating and welcoming different startup companies in the renewable sector. So it's a pleasure just to share the experience that we've had in Rwanda. I think the opportunities for trade are definitely there, and we look forward to partnering with you. And feel free to shoot across any questions. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, PSF, for setting this up. Let's do some business, make things happen. Let's not wait for COVID to be over. So thank you, and back to you, moderator.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. Do we have Vianney now online?
Yes, I'm here.
Please proceed.
Thank you so much, CEO. I'm sorry I couldn't connect before, but yeah, thank you. Honorable ministers, ambassadors, chairpersons, and CEOs of different companies. I would like to thank the Private Sector Federation for giving us a chance to present this part of horticulture in Rwanda. First of all, horticulture in Rwanda, I would like to give you an overview of our horticulture. I'm here as the founder member of the Association of Exporters of Agricultural Products. we have quite a number of advantages in the horticulture industry that are not yet exploited. We have quite a very good climate, and we have diversified agroclimatic conditions, including high and low altitude. Rwanda enjoys quite a number of fertile soils, and we have abundant water resources, not forgetting cheap labor. So all these combined, we managed to produce quite a number of high quality horticulture products that are meant for the international market, especially countries like Turkey. Of late, the export of fruits and vegetables has raised due to increase in logistics, especially by the national airline Rwanda, and we have managed to increase exports to Europe almost twofold. And since 2018 to 2020, the high quality horticulture exports have managed to enter the European market. It's from this background, therefore, that I would like to show you the type of exportable products in our industry that the Turkish population can enjoy, but also calling upon the investors that can come in and also do production in our country. We export a lot of French beans, especially to the European market and the UK. We export a lot of pepper, chili, eggplants, snow peas, and mushrooms. We export a lot of fruits, pineapples, avocados, macadamia nuts, bananas, passion fruits, and we have also a lot of cut flowers that are exported to this market, including roses, agapanthus, calla lilies, astromania, and the ornamental flowers. Our association has over 30 exporting companies already enjoying the market in Europe, and we would like to call upon the Turkish population also to give us a chance. And you have the opportunity that your airline flies here almost 4 to 5 times per week. But we've had a very, very big problem that the Turkish Airlines rates going to Istanbul quite very expensive. And we would like to call upon our partners there in Turkey to really talk about this problem. And I've had Her Excellency, the Ambassador, mentioning this. We have a very big problem to the extent that a kilo of exportable products is charged at around 2.2 before COVID-19 pandemic. And when other airlines are charging up to 1.2. So this is very, very high. And if this could be done, then our products could enter the Turkish market. Another point is, apart from trying to, of course, enter the Turkish market, we are now enjoying exporting to countries like Belgium, Italy, Germany, Sweden, France, Luxembourg, Holland, and Spain. And we're also exporting to Asia, mainly China, Middle East, UAE, Qatar, and Oman. But as I've said before, Turkish Airlines goes to all these countries. So this would be a very good opportunity for you people if you could convince Turkish Airlines to reduce their rates in terms of flight charges. Finally, I would like to also add on that to call upon the Turkish investors that we need a lot of agriculture inputs, including pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, fungicides, for us to, make this happen and produce high quality products for the market. So I call upon the investors in Turkey. I've gone through your companies. There are quite a number of companies that we were supposed to meet. Unfortunately, COVID couldn't allow us, but there's a lot that we can do together. As I've mentioned above, still all this if we include like irrigation systems, if they can also be companies, if companies can invest in this also, in irrigation systems, this would be a good opportunity for tax investors. And I saw quite a number of irrigation companies in the previous pamphlets that you sent us as we were organizing to come there. Currently, we have Rwanda, Ethiopia, and KLM and SN Brussels. So having tax airlines on board, if they can really reduce their rates. Finally, investment in cold chain systems and the processing equipment in the agriculture sector would be a very big opportunity for the tax investors. I thank you so much and looking forward to meet you when you come to Istanbul. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vianney. Thank you for coming at the end of the session. With your permission again, let me go direct to the Q&A. There are a few questions that we managed to get on the wall. One is if it's possible for taxi companies to invest in the strategic colta and mining processes in Rwanda, The other one is someone asking how they can get the Rwandan banana. I think Vianney will stay in touch with you and they can provide an answer on that. Then if that is the few that I managed to get, I don't know if there is any question that I haven't mentioned. So please, if our CEO Rwanda Mining Board is still with us, probably can take on that one, whether companies from Turkey will come to invest in Rwanda Mining Association processes. Okay. Mr. Irhan, I think I have to hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Stephen, if Francis is not there, can't RDB handle the question?
Probably, even the embassy, if you have any input on this, please.
No, listen. By way of a simple answer, every sector in Rwanda is open for investments. So Turkish investors are welcome to invest in Rwanda's mining sector, both in exploration, in exploitation, as well as in value addition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Excellency. I think that is the best answer. Do we have some RDB probably for any additional clarification? But the way I got it from Percy's presentation, every investor is welcome and they have the incentive that will be given. Yes, Deputy CEO?
No, I see the CEO has joined.
Okay.
I think Claire has joined.
Please, someone from RDB, you can go on. The question was whether the taxi companies are okay to come and invest in colta mining and processing.
Yes, they are open to come. This is Stephanie, the Deputy CEO. Apologies for the mix-up of credentials. Yes, the companies from Turkey are welcome to come and invest in mining. As CEO Francis presented, we have opportunities across tin, colta, tungsten, and also smelting and processing activities. So what we could do is, if there is a specific investor who's interested, they can share some contact, and then we can have a follow-up, session with them to see specific areas that they're interested in, and then we can provide the required facilitation. But the answer is yes. Be foreign, be Rwandans, we welcome investors of different nationalities in this sector. There is no restriction at all.
Thank you, Deputy CEO Stephanie. Mr. Enhan, I think I have to hand over to you. Apologies for the session.
Thank you very much. I'll just continue. And thank you very much. Ben tüm question and answer bölümünden, soru cevap bölümünden yazan herkesin yazdığı şeylerin not edildiğini özellikle belirtmek istiyorum. Bunların bir kısmı ağırlıklı olarak işbirliği imkanlarını araştırıcı nitelikte şeyler. Diğer bir kısmı da sorularla ilgili. Bunlardan zamanımız çok dar olduğu için bir iki üç tanesini seçip sizlerle paylaşmak istiyorum. Özellikle banka ilişkileri konusunda, LC'ler konusunda sıkıntı olduğunu, Türkiye ile Rwanda arasındaki bankacılık konusunda işbirliğinin geliştirilmesi gerektiği ile ilgili Sinan Bey bir görüş bildirmiş. Ve aynı zamanda Sinan Bey de bu Mr. Kabare, Vianney'in söylediği gibi Türk Hava Yolları'nın veyahut da uçakların pahalılığından da bahsetmiş. Bu konuda herhangi bir girişim olup olmayacağından söz ediyor. Serdar Bey, LC açılması bankalar arasındaki olan ilişkilerden dolayı büyük problem yaşandığından bahsediyor. Özellikle Sayın Williams'la da daha önce konuştuğumuz üzere bu ve aynı zamanda DEİK içerisinde de Afrika'daki olan ilişkilerimizi, yani banka düzeyindeki finansal yapılanmayla ilgili olan ilişkilerimizi gözden geçiriyoruz. Fakat bu Covid sekte vurdu. Fakat bankalarla ayrıca bir toplantı organize edip bu toplantıda özellikle Türkiye-Rwanda arasındaki bankacılık hizmetlerini nasıl verimli hale getirebiliriz? Bunu şey yapacağız, sürdüreceğiz en kısa süre içerisinde. Ben buradaki seçtiğim sorulardan bir iki tanesi özellikle büyükelçilerimize sormak istiyorum. Bir soru geldi. Zannedersem yanlış değilsem bakmaya çalışıyorum ama Türkiye'nin Rwanda ile arasındaki olan ticari işlerin yanında eğitim ve kültür konusunda işbirlikleri hakkında bilgi ricası var. Bu konuda bize aydınlatma imkanı olabilirse kısa olarak Sayın Büyükelçilerimizin çok memnun olacağız. Buyurun efendim.
Teşekkürler Erhan Bey. I think I have to take this question. And if you allow me, I will respond in English so that our Rwandan friends maybe will be easier to understand us. Let me start by saying that, you know, Turkey tries to enhance its cooperation with Rwanda also in the education sector. And Marif Foundation is in the process of opening a school in Rwanda. Preliminary discussions have been held between Rwanda and the Marif Foundation authorities last year, and now they are trying to complete the technical work. And the intention is to open a TVET school. I don't know if I'm heard or not. Do you hear me?
We live in.
Oh, okay. And of course, we are also trying to strengthen our relations for offering more Turkish scholarships to Rwandan students so that they can study at Turkish universities. Turkish scholarships are also complemented by special scholarships provided by Higher Education Council of Turkey. And every year, around 30-40 scholarships are granted to Rwandan students. And plus, there are also good relations, good cooperation between private universities in Turkey and Rwanda. And we try to encourage to increase this, you know, cooperation and collaboration. And also in area of research and, you know, internships also, there is a cooperation between Yunus Emre Institute and Rwanda University. Which I'm hoping that it will enhance and flourish further after COVID pandemic is overcome in the world.
Teşekkür ederim efendim. Bay Williams, bir eklemeniz olacak mı efendim? Sesiniz kapalı, Bay Williams. Sayın Ekselans, tamam açıldı şimdi.
Okay, I'm now live. I wanted to thank Ambassador Burj for her intervention. What I could add on are a few things. One is in the education space, we have a memorandum of cooperation within, in education between the government of Rwanda and the government of Turkey. We also have had a series of MOUs between different academic and research institutions. We have MOUs between the University of Amasia and the University of Rwanda, the University of Ushak and the University of Rwanda, the University of Chokorova University, and I think the University of Gazi University here in Ankara with the University of Rwanda. So within the education space, there are relationships that are forming. We haven't seen much movement within the cultural space, especially movement from Turkey to Rwanda. We know we have had Rwandan artists coming to Rwanda to perform. Every year in Turkey, we, as an embassy, we organize a cultural experience, what we call the Harvest Festival, Umuganura, every August. We're actually having one this week on the 28th. And during that time, we share Rwandan culture, we share Rwandan cuisine. We are going to be doing it again this week. And on the 28th, we're actually going to be launching.
Buraya tuzunu verdiğin zaman aşağıya artık bir şey olmaz. Bir daha tuzunu al.
Now, sorry, I was saying that on the 28th, we are going to be launching a digital book on Rwandan cuisine written in Turkish for the benefit of our Turkish brothers and sisters as a part of our effort to share our cultural experience. But we think that there should be still a lot more. We did sign an MOU between our two governments of cooperation in the tourism space, which I think once it is implemented and we see greater exchanges between our peoples, the cultural experiences and the cultural sharing is going to be enhanced a lot more. Thank you so much.
Sayın Ekselans, çok teşekkür ediyorum. Şimdi son iki tane çok kısa cevabı olacak soru sormak istiyorlar. Bunlardan bir tanesi Kigali Havalimanı yeni yapılan veya yapılacak olan Kigali Havalimanı ile ilgili inşaatın süreciyle ilgili bir soru var. Bu konuda bilgi verebilecek olan çok kısa bir iki cümleyle varsa onu alacağım. Son soru olarak da şunu sormak istiyorum. Maden konusunda daha önce Bay Gatare'nin yaptığı sunumda özellikle %30 kurumlar vergisi ve çeşitli royaltilerden bahsediliyordu. Maden sektörüne yatırım yapılacak olan firmalara teşvikler söz konusu denmişti. Maden demeyeyim de genelde yatırım yapacak yurt dışı finansmanına. Bu yurt dışından gelecek yatırımlardaki uygulanacak teşvikler kurumlar vergisine ve aynı zamanda bu royaltilere de belirli şekilde tehir edilmesi veya azaltılması gibi şekilde uygulanma imkanı var mı? Biraz uzattım soruyu ama yani bu teşviklerin mahiyeti konusunda çok kısa bilgi rica edeceğiz. Birinci soru için kim cevap vermek isterse o havaalanı ile ilgili olarak İsa Bey'in sorusuydu bu. Bu konuda bilgi verecek var mı acaba? Havalimanı inşaatının konusu hakkında. Tamam, onu bilahare o zaman bilahare kendisine o zaten yazılı cevapları bir kez daha söyleyeyim. Soruları ve düşünceleri, yorumları ve işbirliği isteklerinin hepsini not aldık. Bunları DEİK Afrika Koordinatörlüğü olarak saklıyoruz ve onlara cevaplar vereceğiz. Bu teşvikle ilgili olarak herhalde RBD'den birisi cevap verebilir mi?
If I could quickly jump in. Yes, the new airport is being constructed. I think the one they alluded to should be Bugesera. Bugesera, that's the airport that is under construction. For Kigali, the airport is already there. Of course, there have been some activities to upgrade it. But these are basically more of a continuation of either extending some of the terminals or doing refurbishment of some of the buildings. But when it comes to the new airport, that's the airport in Bugesera. And this is a partnership between the government of Rwanda and Qatar. It's an airport that should be opening in 2023, assuming all else equal. And the idea is basically to catalyze movement of people, movement of goods, and to make sure that in addition to becoming a hub for transport services, we also enable cargo services across the region. That's number one. Now, when it comes to the mining, as Honorable Francis mentioned, on overall for the corporate income tax, we're talking about a tax rate of 30%. That's for each and every business. But of course, depending with the dynamics pertaining to some of the sectors, there are some of the other rates that might be imposed. That's the same case with the mining, where, for example, you're talking about some royalties, 4% on base metals. You're talking about 6% on precious metals. You're talking about 6% on gemstones. The idea is, if you look into dynamics pertaining to mining, if you kind of wait until when you have positive cash flows from this company, it really takes a long time. And these are actually resources which, once extracted, they are depleted. So that's why some of the taxation systems that several countries have put in place, including royalties, that's what has been put in place in Rwanda as well. But as we mentioned, there are quite a number of incentives that investors are subject to, including either tax holiday on corporate income tax, including partnership with the government of Rwanda to make sure that issues of skills are addressed, and among other facilitations. And I can stop by here, but we'll be ready to provide additional details to whoever was asking that particular questions. Probably the organizer can shoot us or share with us the contacts, and then we can organize other focused support or facilitation to that particular investor. Thank you.
Teşekkür ederiz efendim. Sağ olun. Kapatmak zorundayız. Bayağı bir uzun konuştuk fakat çok verimli geçti. Yani ben kendi adıma söylemek istiyorum bunu. Ve hepinize katkılarınız dolayısıyla müteşekkir olduğumuzu ifade etmek istiyorum ve tekraren DEİK ve PSF'ye böyle bir organizasyonu düzenlediği için çok teşekkür ediyorum. Hepinize saygılarımı, sevgilerimi ve selamlarımı sunuyorum. Çok teşekkürler efendim.